broken shards of glass become a piece of art.
I watch the clouds of day transform to radiant sunset sky, as they cover up the sun and then they kiss the day goodbye.
Song of death.
I've known the air that brings new life to take away my breath. I've watched the shadows turn to black and overtake the light. But I love the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. Sunlight fades, light I love has dimmed. Brightness once ablaze is flickering away. Midnight comes, riding on the wind. Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. If darkness comes at eventide, or if it dims the morn,
My path is bright, celestial light with twinkling stars adorn.
the shadows give perspective on things already known. And the light, although familiar,
Was only mine alone.
only mine alone.
Only mine alone.
Only mine alone. Jesus bringeth that good news. Good news, good news, good news, my Lord. Bringeth that good news.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Scarlett Smith and the Canyon Springs High School Choir for that great performance. If it were up to me, I would just suspend the rest of the meeting and listen to the choir for a little longer, but thank you so much. Thank you. Again, I'd like to say thank you. What a great performance and what a great opportunity to hear these students sing and entertain us. I remember a few years ago, not so long ago, Canyon Springs didn't really have a choir, and the progress they've made under Mrs. Smith is just remarkable. So thank you again. Sorry we are a little late tonight, but I would like to call the meeting of the Moreno Valley Unified School District School Board into session at 7:15 p.m. Roll call, please.
Odalis Palomar, the school board representative for Moreno Valley High School here.
Evan Morgan present.
Gary Barr present.
C.J. Johnson present.
Jesus Holguin present.
Susan Smith present.
Martin Rex Kedziora present.
Robert Verdi present.
Gina Dagnott present. Maribel Maddox present.
Thank you. Report out of closed session. Okay, do I know what I did with my papers? Okay, I lost my report. Okay, closed session. I don't have my report. I might have it here. Sorry. I do have a report. So, in closed session, we discussed employee number 131987. We authorized an agreement for the resignation of that employee. Motion made by Evan Morgan, seconded by C.J. Johnson, approved by the Board of Education with a vote of 5 ayes, 0 nays. We also, a motion was made by Evan Morgan, seconded by Gary Baugh, to deny claim numbers 552458, 552672, and 554674. This was approved by the Board of Education with a vote of 5 ayes, no nays. Anything else? Okay. Also, in closed session, should I do this now? I would like to wait, so let's move on. Okay, let's move on and do the Pledge of Allegiance with our high school representative. I'm sorry, would you give me your name again?
Odalis Palomares.
Thank you, from Moreno Valley High School. And she will lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the inspiration. Sometimes you can't see yourself clearly until you see yourself through the eyes of others. This is a quote from Ellen DeGeneres. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right. Also, we are at this time reviewing few upcoming board meetings. Next board meeting is a study session on April 24th. The topic will be the LCAP presentation, open session at 5 o'clock. All are invited to come. That will be a study session right here in the boardroom. After that, our next regular session will be May 8th, closed session at 5 o'clock. Student performances at 6:30. I don't know who we're going to see them, but it will be spectacular. And open session at 7. May 15th, recognition and awards. This is always one of my favorite meetings of the year when we will recognize some of the achievements of our students. Open session, that will begin at 4 o'clock. May 22nd, a regular closed session meeting at 5. Student performances at 6:30, open session at 7. We also have a regular meeting June 12th and June 26th. So if you have your calendar out, you can note the dates of those upcoming meetings. We will now move on to, no, right before we go down for our shaking hands, okay? So let's have the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to our board meeting. I'm very happy to report to you some items since the last time we met, and I want you to know that there's a lot of things that happened because we were on spring break, and these kids and teachers and families and community members, they were not, going traveling somewhere. They were doing stuff in the community, winning awards. So I'm very proud to tell you about this tonight. I want to remind you that through these activities, we prepare our students for college and career, and that's our mission statement. We want every student to graduate from high school, and we want every student to be prepared to go to college or a career, whatever they choose to do. This year, Moreno Valley Unified School District hosted the History Day for the entire Riverside County. First time it ever happened. Thank you, Susan Young. I see you sitting out there. Thank you, Corey Moore. And thank you, Karen Johnson at Valley View High School. But we're very proud of that. This year, the number of student historians and the number of entries set a record for the 6th year in a row in our district. 426 students with 227 entries. So I would say these students deserve a big round of applause, and their teachers and their families for supporting them. I do want you to know that on May 5th and 6th, we have students going to the state. There's 2 first-place winners from Canyon Springs High School, 2 first-place winners from Palm STEAM Academy, and 4 first-place winners from Valley View High School, and 5 second-place winners from Valley View High School, and 1 first-place winner from Vista Heights Middle School, and 5 second-place winners from Vista Heights, and 3 third-place winners. Quite a showing at the State History Day for Moreno Valley Unified. Isn't that something? So not only did the students perform outdid themselves, but every school in our district for the first time in a long time this year had a science fair at their school. Every school had a science fair, a science and engineering fair. So we had 33 projects that went to the county level, 33, and we have 3 students from Palm STEAM Academy that are advancing to the state level, and we're very proud of them, so you can give them a hand. And Stacy Lerma and Dr. Buster helped coordinate that event, and we're very proud of what happened in our Science and Engineering Fair and what students did. For the first time in Moreno Valley, a lot of these are first time. These things haven't happened. There may be a historian out there that might tell me a long time ago it happened, but people have a hard time remembering this sometimes. But we started Odyssey of the Mind in our district a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago, and one of our teams from Vista del Lago High School, where Eric Swanson is the principal, went on to the state for the first time. We had the team go to state. Isn't that something? Yeah. So one of the things that our students have been preparing for is being part of speech competitions. The Friends of Forensics through the Riverside College District participate every year in the Friends of Forensic. And I want you to know that Fred Jorgensen coordinates this. He's a teacher at Mountain View Middle School. But our students every year do quite well in that. And I want to congratulate Palm STEAM Academy because they placed second overall in this tournament. And many of our students placed first, second, or third in different categories. But our students didn't used to compete at this middle school tournament, and they definitely have a presence there. This is all of Riverside County. Very proud of them. I want you to know that our professional development specialists continue to integrate science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics into their daily work that they do at our schools. And you see on here Hidden Springs Elementary and Cloverdale, where the professional development specialists, thank you, Dr. Buster, under her leadership, are including these activities for all students. You don't have to go to a STEAM academy. You can get it at every school. And I'm very proud of the STEAM Academy at Palm because they had their first Lego League tournament, and they placed 17th out of 60 teams. First time they ever participated. Isn't that something? So Moreno Valley continues to, do great things, and the students rise to those expectations. These two gentlemen were recognized by the National Foundation of High School Scholar Athletes. There were 23 people recognized that evening. The number one person was from Moreno Valley Unified School District. His name is Robert Hireman. He goes to Valley View High School. He was the top scholar of all the athletes, and they were from all over the county. They were from Corona, they were from Temecula, they were from Riverside, they're from everywhere. But he was the top scholar from Moreno Valley. And we're also proud of Jakari McKinney, who was also recognized that night, but two wonderful individuals who possess just the best people skills, and their families were there. We could not be prouder of them. When you look at this, Genesis Miranda, where LaToysha Brown is the principal, she wins 8th in the nation in wrestling. 8th in the nation. Y'all should go meet this young lady. I went and met her. I want you to know. Where is she? Genesis, where is she?
Stand up.
Now look at you. Well, I don't have to say I went and met you anymore because now you can say, we know, right? Yeah. But before she went to compete in this, I'd never met someone who'd done this well in wrestling. And look, here she goes to school here. And I just think that's so amazing what happens in our schools. Isn't that something? Thank you. One of the things we did through our local control accountability plan, people say, bring back middle school sports. Why don't we have them? We do. They're through 2 different leagues. And this one, we just held, the Vista Heights Middle Schools won the 2018 soccer tournament, and the Mountain View Middle School boys won the 2018 soccer tournament. So we do have those sports at our schools through Think Together and through another individual league, but they are performing. Very proud of Patty Rucker. She's sitting out there, and she should be smiling. She keeps bringing money into the district, and she was very successful in an education for homeless children and youth program, $250,000 a year for 3 years, $750,000 to bring to additional resources to children that are homeless and foster youth. So thank you, Ms. Rucker. Lisa Broomfield worked with 21st Century Learning Communities and for the summer program this year in the Superintendent Summer Learning Academy, $33,750 for Edgemont Elementary School in that program. So thank you for that. I don't know if the Cyber Patriots are here this evening. Is Donna Woods or Chris Lorenz here? Very exciting program in our district, housed at Valley View High School and Canyon Springs High School, but they received a $125,000 grant, which enables students to obtain international industry recognized certifications, international, not just, in the United States, but internationally. And we're only one of 10 districts nationwide named to partner in this program this spring. Very proud of that. I saw Rafael Garcia out in the hall and Bob Bruff. Are they in here? Where are they? I can't see them through this pole here. But can they step out into the light so I can see you? Okay. Is Bob with you? No, he's not. Oh, okay. So on May 9th, Rafael Garcia, who's a coordinator in Student Services, Child Welfare, and Attendance. They applied for a model SARB program, and for the first time, Moreno Valley Unified, we've never been recognized for this. They're going to recognize us in Fresno on May 9th for at their annual conference for the model SARB program. And thank you for doing that application and bringing that kind of program and what we do for children when they're absent in our district and how we support them. So thank you. I'm very happy to report, I don't know if Lisa Brimfield is in the audience. Is she here?
Yes, she's there.
Oh, there she is. You need to stand out here and be noticed. Lisa Brimfield is the Director of Categorical Programs, Equity, and Social Justice, and she's in charge of our federal program monitoring. Now, Moreno Valley Unified has gone through federal program monitoring where they look at our budgets, they look at how we spend money, and Ms. Brimfield has been successful in you know how you avoid the IRS? You know, because you do your taxes right? Well, we've avoided federal program monitoring for 2 years now because of the work that's been done by Lisa Brimfield and Business Services. So, because they sent us a letter and they have complete faith in how the money is being spent here and how it's being utilized to improve student achievement, but also to support students with expanded services. Very proud of that. Now, parents and community, at the end of the month, you're going to be taking a survey. We want you to all participate in this. It's going to be sent to you, and it's April 23rd through 27th. It's part of our LCAP. It's one of our local indicators. And we'd like for every fourth grader, and I believe at the secondary level, it's going to be at the 7th grade and the 10th grade in their history, social science class. And we have Chromebooks now, so everybody can take this survey. And we want all the parents to, go to the school or go, take the survey, because we want all the information that we can possibly get back from this on school climate and parent engagement. So we're looking forward to those results from that. I want to invite all of you on April 28th to our District Honor Band concert. Absolutely amazing what's happened with Greg Solomon. Dr. Buster works with him in visual and performing arts. And it's just, you just heard this choir up here. Well, when you come to the honor band, you're going to be equally impressed by what the children do in our elementary, middle, and high schools. And it's from 6 to 8 at Vista del Lago High School on April 28th. So I hope you'll all be there. Now, some of these people are in the audience. Brittany Baxter, you're here tonight with your family. And I don't know if Mercedes is here. Is she here? Well, Brittany Baxter is our new Miss Moreno Valley 2018. She can stand up, yeah. She attends Valley View High School, and we're very proud that you entered that competition and you won. Look at that. So thank you. Congratulations. And then Connie Edwards, who runs our Community Wellness Center, she's going to be honored by the Molina Healthcare Organization on April 26th for celebrating unsung heroes. And she works at Creekside at our new wellness center there. We're very proud of what she's done there. Today I was able to attend with Tina Dagnall and Chris Weddle the Rotary 4-way test speech contest. And we had students there, and every Rotary member walked up to me and said, I cannot believe how good these kids are. Every year they get better, which is because the expectations and what we expect of our students gets better every year. And we're very proud of these students. One won a $200 award today, a $100 award, and two $50 awards. Excellent speeches. Very proud of them. Now, the other day at Towngate Elementary School, this was just April, I think it was April 9th. Was it yesterday? It was, yeah, I was thinking, did that happen today? But it's hard to keep up with all this news. But one of our math teachers, a third grade math teacher, Gina Marie Montoya, was recognized by the Teachers Association of San Bernardino County Mathematics. They recognized her for what she does in mathematics and how outstanding she is. And they don't recognize everybody, but they do look for people that are exemplary in mathematics. Very proud of that, what she's done there. You can give her a hand. Now, I want you to know that for the past few weeks, LaToysha Brown and her team at Moreno Valley High School, and Tina Dagnall and her team in facilities with Sammer, Acebeda, is it Acebeda? I was going to say it, and then I thought I'm not going to say it right. They've been doing visioning about a new performing arts center at Moreno Valley High School. Now, folks, this is big. This is a big deal. Stadium at Canyon Springs, a performing arts center at Moreno Valley High School. You just need to keep looking for what's next. But I want you to look at this. This is the rendition of it. Ms. Dagnot's going to do more of this in a study session with the board. But just to let you know, this is a 650, I was going to say 75, add seats, 650 seat performing arts center. Isn't that something that's going to be happening there? So this year at Canyon Springs High School, you probably keep driving by there, and every day you see Mrs. Kersey's. In addition, you can tell who she is. She's got on the right color back there, that cougar blue. And teal, cougar teal, excuse me, I apologize. I know better. Cougar teal. So every day you see something being done there, and we've been assured that the graduating class of 2018 will be graduating from that stadium. So we're very proud of that. Did you want to say something, Ms. Kerr? Every day something happens. You can't keep up. As you go to Moreno Valley High School, and you can't really go in there, but I went in there with Miss Brown, and she's back there, and Rhodes Williams is here, and they've kept right on, everybody over there, and Tina Dagnot and the facilities people. But that gymnasium is going to be quite something when you're allowed to go in. But it's going to be an air-conditioned gym with new floors, new bleachers. I mean, just a really model first-class facility for the students at Moreno Valley High School. So very proud of that. And Valley View High School is going to have a new softball field, and you've probably seen that going in over there behind that school. And then yesterday, I had the privilege of going to Mountain View Middle School, where John Black is principal and Angelena Tavares is a teacher. And I want you to know we take great pride in the fact that our students who are English learners do better and better. And if you look at our dashboard, we have 4 middle schools that have solid blue in English learner performance. Very proud of that. But these students are examples of what's happening. And I told them tonight I was going to give them a shout out for the work they did, because I witnessed their speeches, an oral project grant with Moreno Valley College. So I'd like to say thank you to Jenny, Evan, Adrian, Kevin, Hassab, Alexa, Frank, Daniel, Diego, Gian, Alumi, and Miguel, and Mustafa, because they did a wonderful job, and I'm very proud of them. And they're watching tonight. They were waiting for this, because I told them they could do live streaming, and they said, do we have to watch the whole thing? And I said, well, just wait for your name. And so please congratulate them and clap for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kadziora, for telling us about all the great things going on in Moreno Valley Unified School District. We would now like to have the school reports, so I'm going to turn it over to our student representative to lead us in school reports.
Okay. Will the representative for Bayside Charter High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, President Smith, Vice President Holguin, Clerk Johnson, members of the board, and Dr. Kadziora. My name is Karen Velarde, and we represent Bayside and Moreno Valley Community Learning Center. Students have been invited to the final taping of Dr. Phil this season, which will occur April 11th. The show pays for the bus and provides an educational opportunity, as well as some fun for those students who attend. The Bayside soccer team will begin league play on April 17th. We wish them luck as they try to win their second league title. On April 19th, 20 students will be attending We Day in California. This is a global event, and students earn the opportunity to attend through community service. ASB is planning the end-of-the-year activities such as the final blood drive, staff appreciation, and senior activities. Our school prom will occur on April 28th with Valley View High School. We thank them for the generous opportunity. This past week, we cleared Tier 1 for PBIS, and we are starting our Tier 2 program. Mr. Palmer will be taking some computer repair students to USC to view their robotics and programming classes. Last night, we honored Kizzy Cortez at the Top Scholars Dinner for the county. Congratulations, Kizzy. We are proud of you. Our CTE marketing class visited the Fashion Institute of Design and merchandising students, toured the college, and met faculty, and attended the debut runway show for graduating students. This concludes our report. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions?
Will the representative for Canyon Springs High School come forward and present the report, please?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Kenziora, Cabinet, and Community of Miranda Valley. I am pleased to announce all the fantastic activities that have occurred at Canyon Springs this last month. In a stadium construction update, yesterday we saw the turf beginning to be rolled out. More concrete is being poured around the track, and the home side bleachers are almost ready to be installed. But we are most excited to report that plans are underway for our first commencement in our own stadium. Our administrators are continuing to talk with students and student leaders about school safety, holding an open forum last Thursday and active shooter training at lunches in the coming weeks. Senior Mariana Serrano has earned a Best Award and Scholarship from CABE for her impressive progress as an English learner. Coming to the U.S. in 9th grade, she has progressed from ELD 1 to advanced placement courses. She will be honored at an awards dinner in April. Cyber Patriot continues to excel with all 7 teams advancing to state competition. ROTC entered the Golden Bear competition, and the all-service team finished in 3rd, and the Open Division team finished 6th. After a 9-year absence, the Academic Decathlon has returned with a very respectable showing in their first competition. HOSA competed just last week and will send 3 teams, 7 students in total, to Dallas in June to compete internationally. In their competition over spring break, Business Academy brought home 2 gold awards, one which is for first place, and a silver award. At the District Band Festival, Symphonic Band and Concert Band both received a rating of excellent, and Wind Ensemble received a superior rating. Winegard and Drumline both placed second in their recent competitions. In wrestling news, Kaylin Perez and the girls' team competed last month, and Caitlin finished in the top 8, qualifying for the CIF Southern Section Championships. Speaking of wrestling, we would like to congratulate Moreno Valley High School's Genesis Miranda for placing 8th in the nation. We have just got news in today that boys tennis has had a victory over Poly, which ranks us in 10th in CIF. This is a huge win for us over Poly. Guidance and ASB are working together to host our first National College Signing Day Assembly to be held May 2nd, celebrating all seniors who plan to further their education or training in college, trade school, or the military. The book club held a book drive and collected more than 19 boxes of books to be given to the Harry Potter Alliance. The books will be sent to charitable organizations and distributed in Puerto Rico. ASB held its first personal supplies and clothing drive, donating 9 bags of clothing and 8 bags of personal hygiene items to the district's wellness center. ASB held a student versus staff basketball game in which our staff took home the trophy. This will become an annual event. The Friday after our last board report, we had our annual SH Prom, where we had an amazing turnout and crowned for the first year an SH Prom King and Queen. We would like to thank Mr. Holguin and Dr. Kenziora and all the teachers and instructional aides from across the district for attending. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions? Thank you.
The representative from March Mountain couldn't make it today, so I will be representing the report. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, school board, superintendent, and cabinet. Congratulations to our student of the month for April, Tony Tackett. She will be recognized for next week as a Sizzler with all of other high schools. Congratulations to our Term 5 graduates when they finish next Friday. We are posting congratulations messages across the campus and are getting close to graduation. We are expecting 21 more graduates for a total of 62 so far. Juniors recently took the CASP AB test to see how well they will perform in May. Teachers have been adding extra support in English 3, U.S. History, and math classes to help them with anything they struggle with. We will be offering our second administration of the ASVAB tomorrow, April 11th. It's not too late to sign up. This Friday, April 13th, our school site will be hosting our second annual rally around fitness. Students from other schools will be joining us as we celebrate fitness and exercise as part of our daily life. Thank you to Canyon Springs for inviting us to their prom on April 21st this year. We look forward to attending and enjoying the evening. Our students are growing thanks to action and our manufacturing classes for building and maintaining them. We continue to push for our seniors and graduating juniors to complete FAFSA to make them eligible for financial aid in college. Moreno Valley College, our counselors and teachers continue to work with students to find them every dollar we can. Will the representative for Valley View High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Ketziora, cabinet and community of Moreno Valley. I'm Serene Manuel, school board representative for Valley View High School, and I am pleased to announce all of the great things occurring at Valley View this past month. We sent our congratulations to the March Employees of the Month, Stacy Katzenstein for certificated employees and Sharice Johnson for classified employees. With Q4 upon us, we are officially in the home stretch and ready to finish strong. We would like to congratulate our fantastic Students of the Month in March, Stephanie Sanchez, and our April Student of the Month, Ariel Mamaro. Way to go, Eagles. Our students won't be where they are without our magnificent staff, parents, and district support. The Eagles are preparing to host the Building Assets and Reducing Risks BAR Spring Gathering Conference on April 19th and 20th. BAR is implemented for all students in grade 9 for the first time this school term. BAR strategies have had a positive influence on our 9th grade class by increasing A through G acquisition, grade point average, and course pass rate. The class of 2018 is making Valley View history as we have 43 students that have a GPA of 4.0 and above. The number 1 ranked student and valedictorian from the class of 2018 is Stephanie Sanchez with a 4.64 grade point average. The number 2 ranked student with a GPA of 4.62 and salutatorian is Serene Manuel. This is the highest number of top scholars that we have ever had in the history of Valley View. One of the things we do at Valley View is to encourage high academic performance is to host our third quarter 4.0 and above luncheon. This will take place on April 20th. In keeping with motivation and encouragement, we will be recognizing students who met and exceed growth requirements on CASP from 2017 through an in-and-out event after school. Students will enjoy a burger combo with music and games. To kick off our testing this year, we will be having a BMX motivation assembly featuring the ASA Entertainment Tour. The show will include BMX bikers doing stunts and will incorporate a motivational message doing their best on assessments, treating others kindly, and to be one's best self. As AP testing is nearing, teachers have already begun providing extra study sessions for AP students during spring break. Saturday study sessions and having students attend the AP study sessions at UCR have been deemed helpful. Once again, the Eagles are making history as we have more than 700 students signed up to take AP exams. We are also planning our CASP camp and utilizing SHMOOP and FEV tutoring to prepare our students. The Black Student Union recently honored African American students who have achieved 3.0 or higher. Jasmine Delt Mackey was honored as the highest ranking African American student from the class of 2018 with a GPA of 4.46. She is ranked 7th overall and among the top 10. We are hosting our African Symposium on April 17th. On April 6th, we hosted the Special Ed Prom with help from student volunteers. The attendees had a wonderful time. Congratulations to Valley View's ASB for receiving the Outstanding Leadership Award at the California Association of Student Leaders Conference. On April 7th, Valley View's excellent choir performed at the Angels game. Job well done, Coral Eagles. ASB will be hosting our 2018 prom on April 28th from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. at the Grand Long Beach. The theme is A Tale as Old as Time, a take on Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Our final sports assembly will be on April 13th with the Hollywood theme. Throughout the assembly, we will be celebrating our spring sports teams, including boys tennis, boys tennis, and boys golf. We would also like to congratulate Ariana Brazil and Juan Hernandez, who won the Arts Advocacy Award at the California Thespian Festival. Last but not least, congratulations to Robert Hireman, who has been honored for his academic achievement among high school athletes in Riverside County as having the highest GPA at 4.42. Robert is among the top 10 scholars. Robert was honored by the Los Angeles Rams with the scholarship. We are proud of this high-achieving athlete. That's all for Valley View High School's report. Any questions?
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will the representative for Vista del Lago High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Kidziora, teachers, parents, students, and community. I am Samantha Garan, ASB President representing Vista del Lago High School, and I am here tonight to bring you exciting news from our campus. As we continue to progress this year, we remain focused on developing our Raven values of R for respect, A for achieve, V for value, E for engage, and for never give up, and S for succeed, as well as our school motto to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of the school. Vista del Lago High School participated in the community engagement event on Wednesday, March 14th to commemorate the individuals that lost their lives during the Columbine, Sandy Hooks, and Florida shooting incidents. The Young Democrats Club also gave speeches that stressed the message that enough is enough. The event was an overall success, and students wore orange wristbands to show their support at the event. An excelling Raven has been recognized multiple times this month for his achievements. Lucas Ton earned an overall GPA of a 5.0 for the fall semester. He participated in History Day, where his group project competed at both the district and county levels. He was also awarded a bronze medal at the county level for his science fair project titled Powered by Perpetual Motion. In addition, he received the Naval Science Award Senior Division from the Office of Naval Research for his project. Over the break, we had AP symposiums where several teachers held additional test preparation sessions with our students over the course of the 2 weeks to ensure that they are ready to pass their exams in May. We had sessions for AP Psychology, AP Biology, and AP U.S. History. The Health Occupation Students of America is in preparation for their Cal HOSA State Leadership Conference in April. Students are training for multiple competitions such as medical spelling, PSA, CPR procedures, and many more. We are very proud of our Ravens and are excited for them to bring home the win. ASB has been working overtime this past month to prepare for all of the activities scheduled in April. Juniors are adding their finishing touches on prom 2018. The theme for this year is Passport to Paradise and will take place at the Queen Mary on Saturday, April 28th. In addition, seniors are planning their farewell gifts to the campus before they bid their final goodbyes in June. The dance team has completed their competition season and earned a ranking of first place overall in all of their competitions. They were also named Sharp Division champions. We are very proud of our dazzling dancing Ravens and cannot wait for next season. Mrs. Simone Butler Walton was awarded the Mary McLeod Batoon Teacher of the Year Award at the CASA 2018 awards presentation. She was nominated by Dr. Kidziora for all of the amazing effort and hard work she has exhibited in our district over the past 20 years. In addition, our Maths department celebrated National Pie Day on Wednesday, March 14th. They did several mathematical activities in their classes while enjoying slices of real pie. On to sports. Track and field is en route to a possible league title this year. Boys tennis is undefeated in league, and boys volleyball is looking to claim their second league title in a row. Our boys golf team is looking better each week. Congratulations, Raven athletes. This concludes my report for this evening. Are there any questions?
No, thank you very much for your comments. We appreciate you hearing about all of our high schools.
Now we will present the report from Moreno Valley High School. Good evening, school board members, Dr. Kidziora, cabinet, and the community of Moreno Valley. I am Odalis Palomares, the ASB president. I am here to share the exciting happenings at Moreno Valley High School. First, I would like to begin with some great news from our athletic programs. Genesis Miranda, our female wrestler, placed 8th in the nation in Oklahoma City at the national tournament. We are so proud of her. Jakari McKigney, one of our football players, was honored on March 23rd as a National Football Federation Scholar Athlete. Spring sports are underway, and our baseball is in first place in league. They are undefeated. Congratulations to the girls and boys swimming teams. Currently, the girls are undefeated in league, and the boys are in 3-1 in league. We have several students that we would like to spotlight this month. Moreno Valley High School students we represented for the first time during the County Science Fair. Andy Lee, Jeffrey Lean, Dinicio Saminego received silver medals, and Brianna Plasencia received a bronze medal. We are proud of their accomplishments. Congratulations to one of our 12th grade student, Maria Castro, who is a recipient for 2018 Best Award. Congratulations to Imelda Seya, Brianna Lopez, and Alex Altimano for receiving a 500 scholarship at the ECMC College Night. Seniors are getting ready to make the final decision about what school they'll be attending in the fall. Guidance will be hosting a third party on May 2nd. We are also pleased to announce that 66% of our seniors submitted their FAFSA. English and math teachers are administering the ABS, and resulting and looking promising for the upcoming state exams, which will begin May 9th. AP exams will begin May 7th, and we currently have 395 students taking 693 different AP exams. We're excited to announce that Welding Tech 1 and 2, Chinese 3, and Law Enforcement courses are now A through G approved. We would like to share that our school will partner with Moreno Valley College and offer dual enrollment classes. Congratulations to Ms. LeBlanc and Mr. Remington for the professor status. Our students have been busy this month. AVIC took their annual junior trip up north to visit various universities. Interact hosted the midday prom for our SH students. Virtual Business was on the road again, competing in the trade show at the Oakland Convention Center. Prom was this past Saturday. Everything was a success. Students enjoyed delicious food and danced the night away at the Palm Spring Air Museum. The theme was Around the World in One Night. Our Prom 2018 king is Ruben Marquez, and our queen is Odalis Palomares. As the year wraps up, we are gearing up for graduation festivities. We are planning senior awards and senior reflections. Grand Night is just around the corner as well. Our construction is moving forward, and we hope to be in our new gym by the end of May. This concludes my report. Are there any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Who did you say the queen was on this list?
That's me.
Oh, it's you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Odalis in her remarks mentioned A through G requirements. If you have a child who is in high school or entering high school soon and you don't know what those H through G requirements are, I would suggest that you find out, because they are important to your child's entrance and success in college. So A through G requirements are what helps your student to be prepared for the college experience. So if you're not aware of that, it's time to find out, and I'm sure that anybody at the high school campus will be happy to help you. Before we do awards, I would like to bring forward one more item that we discussed in closed session, and that was a hiring of a director of transportation. And we discussed the name of Jim Burleson, who has worked for him at Unified. He has been employed in his own business as a consultant, and he has most recently been a director of transportation at Roland Unified School District. Is Mr. Burleson here tonight? Oh, great, great. So do I have a motion to approve Mr. Burleson as our Director of Transportation?
I move we approve him as Director of Transportation.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Can we have a vote?
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. It looks like you are officially our new Director of Transportation. I don't know if you know about the tradition that we have here, but I would like you to come forward and just say a few words to us, if you don't mind.
Extended Cabinet, Board, Board President Smith, and Superintendent Dr. Quijosa. I'm very excited to be here tonight, and I look forward to humbly serving the community, the students, and the administrators of Moreno Valley Unified School District. And I wasn't quite sure that I was going to be asked to come up and say a few words, but I don't have anything prepared, but I'm very excited and ready to humbly serve the needs of the district and provide the most efficient transportation possible to support the education of the students of Moreno Valley Unified School District.
Thank you so much. And thank you for applying for this opportunity with us. We look forward to working with you. We'd also invite you to stay, see a little bit more of our meeting. We have some students that we're honoring and some more awards. First up is a resolution for Adult Education Week.
Can we approve the resolution for Adult Education Week?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Ba to approve the resolution for Adult Education Week. Who is going to present that resolution? So that will be Mr. Holguin. Next resolution up is...
We need to take the vote.
We have to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just moving on. You know, it's already 8 o'clock. We got to move on.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Ba.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Adult Education Week is approved. Next, 5FB, Resolution 2017-1857, Administrative Professionals Day.
So moved. We approve.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Ba, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Ba.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Who has that professional?
I do.
Mr. Ba will do that, okay. Day of the School Bus Driver. You just started, Mr. Burleson, and already you have a day of honor coming up. Day of the School Bus Driver, fourth Thursday of April, which establishes April 26th as the Day of the School Bus Driver for the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Can I get a motion on this?
Motioned. Second.
Moved by
Mr.
Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Ba.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. And the last one, are you doing this one, Mr. Morgan? Who's doing a National Child Abuse Prevention Month?
Mr. Johnson?
You have two there, Gary.
What?
You have two.
I have two.
Yes, you're supposed to pass one over.
Oh,
Apparently I am.
Mr. Morgan will do the National Child Abuse Prevention Month. We are declaring April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month and encourages the community to share the responsibility of helping all children to have positive, meaningful life experiences. Do I have a motion on
I
this?
motion.
second.
Moved by Mr. Morgan, seconded by Mr. Ba. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Ba.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. And with that taken care of, we are now going to move down for educational services recognitions with Miranda Maddox. We'll do the 4 resolutions and then, but we're all going downstairs.
Nobody told me that. I had to pass that on to you. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm going to present the first resolution, and that is for Adult Education Week. Could I ask Ms. Jennifer McGrath, please, to join me here? wait for Ms. Jennifer McGrath. She is the administrative designee for adult education. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And again, we have a resolution for Adult Education Week. One of the many important services our school district provides is adult education. While our main focus as a school district is the education of children, we also reach out to adults in our community with learning opportunities that can help them earn a GED, gain proficiency in English, prepare to become American citizens, or even learn to read and write. Adult education helps prepare people to find work or apply for a better job, and ultimately to better support themselves and their families. Through our adult education program, it is not exaggerating to say that we help transform lives and futures. Sometimes we help transform the futures of entire families through the education we provide. I have to say that I'm very proud to say that I am an English learner, but I am also a product of adult education program, not here in Moreno Valley, but in a different school district. But I saw myself the benefit of going through the adult education program. And I'm very excited and very thankful for the parents and adults that today attend those programs, because you have to know that several years ago, the government eliminated funding for adult education. This district maintained it. With the collaboration of the board, of the administration, and the entire district, we were able to maintain the program. It's still very strong today. So I'm very thankful for everybody who is taking advantage of that. And it is with great pleasure that the school board tonight approves a resolution recognizing April 9th through the 13th as Adult Education Week in California. And we salute the administrators, teachers, and students of our adult education program for the important work they do, which has a positive and lasting effect on our entire Moreno Valley community. And I'm going to present this resolution, which is signed by the 5 members of the board and the superintendent. Please accept this resolution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to say a few words, Jennifer? Oh.
On behalf of the Moreno Valley Community Adult School, it is with honor to accept this resolution recognizing Adult Education Week. I would like to thank the board, Dr. Ketziora, and the Moreno Valley Unified School District for your continual support as we provide resources for our amazing community of adult learners so that they can achieve their career and college pathway goals. Additionally, Dr. Bazan was unable to be here tonight as she is in Sacramento. She's meeting with our state legislators, and she's working on campaigning for additional funding so that we can continue to expand adult education programs here in Moreno Valley and to be of greater service to our community. Thank you very much, and accept this honor with great honor. Thank you.
I'd like Amy Esquivel to please join me. All right, Amy serves as an administrative assistant to our business service department. My resolution is on the Administrative Professionals Day. You a professional?
I try.
Yes, you are. Tonight, the school board approves a resolution in support of the Administrative Professionals Day on April the 25th. Administrative professionals are the people who really keep things better running smoothly in our district. Now, I spent 22 years in the Air Force as an officer. I'll tell you, officers don't run the Air Force. It's the enlisted guys who do that. The same is true for the professionals. I'm sorry, it's not Dr. K at all. It's people like Amy who run this district, and we are grateful for her. At our schools, they often become the face of the organization as they help parents, students, and visitors. They are an invaluable support to principals and staff. At the district level, administrative professionals like Amy and like Diane Hellerstedt. Diane, by the by, she keeps all of us honest. We appreciate her as a board. And Patty Diener, who's also... Look at what you've done. You made your boss the big boss, and you got a new boss. Anyway, we're grateful for these professionals. They keep things well organized, moving forward, and adjusting to last-minute changes, juggling multiple projects at a time, and making it all look easy, when in reality it is anything but easy. So that's why they're called professionals. It is the school board's pleasure to approve this resolution in honor of all of our school district's invaluable administrative professionals. Congratulations.
I just wanted to say it truly is an honor and a privilege to work with the team of administrative professionals that we have, but to work for and with our cabinet and our board. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I have the pleasure of, I have a resolution for the day of the school bus driver. And there are two people I'd like to have to come up, please. Maria Navarro and Jim. May as well put him to work, right? You guys clap for him. While they're coming, when I'm traveling on the freeways, the people that I like to be behind or around the most are 18-wheelers. Any 18-wheelers in drivers in here tonight? No 18-wheeler drivers? There's one right there. Well, thank you, sir, for your service. Next time you're behind one, just notice how courteous they are. They maintain, in most cases, they maintain the speed limit, things like that, but those guys are pretty good at their jobs. Tammy? Okay. Tammy, would you please come up too? I am very sorry. Clap for her. Go on, dude. Clap for her. Yes, yes. But the reason I talked about the 18-wheelers because people like this young man right here, those guys are very courteous on the road. But then there's another group, a group of bus drivers. I don't know how many of you guys follow or drive by a bus driver. Those folks are even courteouser. Is there such a word as courtesy here? I don't know how you say it. Well, whatever. They're more courteous than an 18-wheeler. And I think maybe it's because 18-wheelers, normally carry cargo, but the bus drivers transport our children. So tonight, we have a resolution that we're going to read out and present to our very own. I'm very proud of our bus drivers. So even before I start reading, would you guys just please give them a hand as well, the driver? Most of us work in the office or we work in a place where our supervisor is no more than 2 or 3 steps away from us. So he's always there or she's always there telling us what needs to be done. But those bus drivers, those school bus drivers, those guys go out and do their job as the true professional that they are, that they really are. So I'm going to read this, and it says, to all 3 of you, is one of our outstanding drivers for transportation services. At any given time during the school day, there are about 110 of the iconic yellow school buses traveling the streets of Moreno Valley and other areas as well. Our school bus drivers safely transport about 3,000 children to and from school each day, which is critically important work in a number of ways. On the human level, for those 3,000 students, the bus driver can set the tone for the whole school day with those kids on that bus. She or he is the first one to welcome the children in the morning and the last smiling face who says goodbye in the afternoon. Moreno Valley Unified School District bus drivers safely log about 4,500 miles each day. That's a lot of miles. That's more than 1 million miles each year. Now truck drivers, they get 1 million miles, awards once a year. But these guys right here, more than 1 million miles each day, or the total distance of 2 round trips to the moon. In recognition of our 102 bus drivers and the rest of our transportation staff, the school board is approving a resolution tonight in recognition recognition of April 26th as the Day of the School Bus Driver. So we are grateful for the important work that you guys have been doing, you've been doing, and now you will continue doing over here. So thank you very much. Now, who's going to represent us by speaking? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. On behalf of all the Moreno Valley Unified School bus drivers, thank you so much. And thank you to Walter Casas and Tommy for inviting me to come and receive the award. Thank you.
Before you sit, you guys saw tonight that we just ratified and we hired a new transportation director. Well, in the interim, someone has been doing a fantastic job. So I would like to put her on the spot, but I would like for you all to hear from her, because I want you to know that we were totally invisible of not having the boss there. She has been doing a fantastic job. So would you please come up and have just a few words for us, please?
I was just happy to do it. I love transportation, and we'll keep doing the hard work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this one isn't as fun as being a bus driver, but it is necessary to recognize this. Patty Rucker, will you please join me at the podium? You don't have to run. Miss Patty Rucker is the coordinator of our student services. She is one of the true unsung heroes of our district. She really helps a lot of the children that are in need, the families that are in need. She runs a bunch of programs in the summer to help make sure that kids are still being fed. Some of the kids that are getting free lunches when they're in the school system during the regular school year, they might not have lunch when they go home for the summer. So Miss Rucker helps make sure that a lot of those kids are still being fed. And speaking of those children, childhood should really be a time of learning and growing with guidance and love and protection from caring adults. Unfortunately, as we all know, that doesn't happen with every child. For millions of American children, according to the National Committee to Prevent Child Abuse, as many as 3 million American children are abused or neglected each year. An average of 3 children die each day in our country due to neglect and abuse. As school district employees, an important part of our legal responsibility is to report suspected child abuse, so we take this matter very seriously, which is why the school board is approving this resolution to support of designating April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. We all urge all MVUSD employees and members of the community to stand up for the children and to understand that child abuse and neglect undermine our organizational and community values. So I'd like to present this resolution to you, and I'd like to challenge you all that if you see something, say something, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Well, I think we're all here because of students, and they're our precious cargo. And as adults, we're all mandated reporters to look out to make sure that they're all well taken care of and not mistreated. Sometimes it's not detected, but we all are, I guess, mindful to make sure that we have protections for our children, our babies. Thank you.
Before Mrs. Maddox begins, I'd like to invite you, if you're standing in the back, we have some seats scattered around down here, and also these seats in the front are available. So if you don't have a seat, please come forward and find something, and feel free to do that. Thank you.
Good evening. Are we ready for staff and student recognitions
I do want to start by thanking all the students, the parents, the families, the administrators, the teachers, all the supporters that are here tonight to acknowledge and to celebrate all these recognitions. Thank you so much, and I'm excited to get started. We're going to start by acknowledging a donation by the Waste Management for it's of the Inland Empire, and it's from, let me read this correctly. I'm going to ask Barbara Jimenez, the recycling coordinator, and Lily Quiroa, Area Community Relations, if you're here tonight, from the Waste Management of the Inland Empire. I'm going to read that they were so impressed with the work, the commitment, the dedication of one of our principals, Mr. Smiley Villasencio from Edgemont, and the staff there, that they donated $1,000 for Edgemont students and families. Thank you.
Good evening. It is my honor and privilege to present this check on behalf of Waste Management. We love servicing Moreno Valley Unified School District for all your trash and recycling needs, and it's just been our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the students and staff of Edgemont Elementary, we'd like to thank the Waste Management Department and Ms. Jimenez for this generous gift. We plan on supporting increased participation in our Science and History Day programs, and also helping to build our robotics and STEAM lab. Thank you very much.
And just so you know, after each award, this is what's going to happen. A picture gets taken, and then everybody shakes hands to congratulate the students. I would now like to call up Mr. Rafael Garcia, CWA Coordinator, to assist me in acknowledging the attendance awards for the month. I think everyone knows that attendance is important. Students can't learn if they're not in school every day, so we do acknowledge schools that continue to really work on their attendance. The 3 schools tonight have over 95% of ADA, which is their daily attendance, and also they keep lowering their chronic absenteeism. So for elementary, we have Northridge Elementary. If I see the principal, Dr. McNair, any staff from Northridge that's here. Middle schools, we have Vista Heights. Any staff from Vista Heights, please come on up. And Canyon Springs High School. Staff from Canyon Springs. Any staff from Canyon Springs, welcome to come on up. We're going to get the banner for the picture. We now would like to acknowledge the students from Canyon Springs and also Valley View High School for making it to the state level in what it's called Skills USA for the automotive leadership. So, students, let me start by acknowledging your teachers. We're going to start with Mr. Dale Critchfield from Valley View High School and Mr. Douglas Cook from Canyon Springs. If the principals are here, please come up and join us also. Just give him up. As you can see on the screen, you see the students and their different levels. Students, I'll go really quick. Raise your hand. I just, wave. From Canyon Springs, we have Cameron Manker, Anihi Ordez, Nabil Altaf Karishi, Daniel Soto, Andres Rios, Matthew Arona, Ignacio Marin, Michael Rosas, Isael Rosas, Luis Gonzalez, Daniel Calderas, and Alexa Alamillo. From Valley View, we have Angelena Castro, Brandon Aravallo, and Henry Ruiz Jr. And these students are moving to the state level in competition for the Skills USA Automotive Leadership. Congratulations, students and staff. We're now going to continue with Canyon Springs the Business Academy. So I'd like to invite Ms. Willie Beard, the Business Academy Director, and any of the Business Academy teachers that are here to support. I see a lot of you teachers up here. And also, I know the principal is here, Ms. Kerr. So these students went to a competition, and they also won awards. So for the gold level award, we have Sita Sak and Lacey Hanna. For silver level, Anthony Arcos, Melody Arisaga, and Takudo Asada, and bronze level, Sage Scott. Congratulations for these students. They also won these levels in their competition, and these are state competitions across the state from all the business academies. Congratulations, Canyon Springs High School. We now like to acknowledge the students that entered this. It was a competition for is a Stay Free, Drug Free poster. That it's an annual competition, and these students are being recognized because they won at different levels. Their posters depicted the theme of staying drug-free, and so they were acknowledged for this. So for elementary, as I call your name, if the principal is here, any staff from the school, it'd be great if you come up. So for elementary, we have first place from Towngate, Candace Wee Eng. Second place, we have Lillian Jaycee from Towngate. Third place, we have Ashley Fell from Ramona Elementary. Middle school, we have Kalila Harris from Vista Heights. Laura second place from Vista Heights. And Caitlin Craig from Palm Middle School. We now go to our high school level. We have Elizabeth Villalbalso from Moreno Valley High School. We have Francesca Medina from Moreno Valley High School. And Osvaldo Curiel from Moreno Valley High School. Congratulations. Now, we've heard of this young lady throughout the night. It's a big accomplishment to win third place with the 2018 CIF State Championship in wrestling, but then to go on nationally for 8th place national. So, wow, I want to invite Genesis Miranda up. If her coach is here, Joe Flores, and her principal, Miss Brown. Congratulations. Congratulations. Superintendent Dr. Kitsura announcing that the History Day, the County History Day, was held here in our district. I'm going to tell you for the first time, and that's a great thing for us. And I'm going to announce that it's going to be held again here in our district at the county level again next year because of the work that was done by our students and our staff. So for History Day, let me announce the coaches. If you're here, coaches, if you could come up. We have Aurelio Cortez, Autumn Earl Rodriguez from Vista Heights, Ana Pantoja from Palm, Diane Donald from Canyon Springs, Janine Lopez, Valley View, and Corey Moore, Valley View. You're going to see their names also on both of these screens. So for the junior division, which is grades 6 to 8, we have the individual paper. First place, Tiana Ali Koku, I hope I said that correctly. Junior, grade 6 to 8 for individual performance. Third place, Liliana Valle Arredondo, Vista Heights. We're going to continue with the individual web design. Second place, Brianna Thornley, Vista Heights. We're now going to move to the group website. First place, Tarushi Jaya Singh, I hope. Fiona Wee from Palm Middle. Then second place, we have Anila Osorio and Kathy Sanchez from Vista Heights. Still continuing with the junior division, group exhibit. Second place, Zoe Pena, Elizabeth Godoy, Vista Heights. And Mariam Al-Turki, Aisha Holmes, Vista Heights. We're now continuing to our senior division, which is our high school. First place, Gelsia Arce and Dulce Arce from Canyon Springs High School. Please come on up, students. Also, for our high school level, the group performance. First place, these are all from Valley View, Luke Baxter, Haley Davis, Alyssa Medor, and Juan Hernandez. Also, in second place, this is from Valley View High School, Michelle Calderia, Ariana Basil, Jade Moreno, Mark Valdez, Alondra Mendez Acosta. Congratulations, these are History Day winners at all these different levels. Congratulations. I'd like to now acknowledge the students that are going on to compete in the science fair. So these students did well at the district and county level, and now they're competing again. So I'm going to ask Ms. Stacy Lerma and Dr. Buster to please come on up. First time we've had every school participate, elementary, middle, and high school, I'm going to say with hundreds of projects. I'm going to ask Dr. Harris again to come on up. These come from the Palm STEAM Academy, these students. So let me acknowledge Jasmine Holm, 6th grade. Tarushi Jahad, oh. Come here. I want you to say your name because I have butchered it and she needs to have, you need to say it.
Tarushi Jai Singh.
Say it louder.
Tarushi Jai Singh.
And Fiona Lorraine Weeing, 8th grade. And any staff that's here from the schools that have helped these students move forward, please come on up. Thank you. One more time, thank you all for being here this evening to acknowledge our students and staff. Thank you so much.
We're going to wait a second for people to leave. I think that's okay. Mr. Ng is taking his pictures of his daughters.
Now, don't forget about that's on the consent agenda. And then the other one's action items, so it doesn't have to
Yes, so we're going to pull this.
And I'll tell you what number that is.
All right, thank you so much. Again, I would like to mention we have plenty of seats now since some of the student awardees are leaving. Plenty of room for those who are standing up to come and sit down. So if you are standing, we would invite you to find a seat. All right, we were moving on to F6, staff responses to public comments made at previous meetings, and we have none at this time. So public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing, requesting to speak to any item on the agenda may do so at this time.
We have 13.
Okay, and 2 are agenda items, right?
Agenda item and 11 are
All right, so we only have one for agenda items. I mean, two. Same person, one person for agenda items. All right, we have one person who has asked to speak on agenda items. Mr. Bleckert, would you like to speak now on the agenda items or when they come up? Okay. All right, this is, yeah, thank you. All right, we are ready.
We're ready, okay. Would like to address, I'll do very briefly on G1 and G3 and 5, I think, on the CSEA and MV, Moreno Valley Educators Association's bargaining agreement renegotiations. One thing I would like to bring up, and it mentions cost savings or trying to get cost savings on medical benefits. There's one program I'm aware of that Dr. Josh Umber runs. He does unlimited doctor visits for $50 a person and $10 for kids. That's how the free market works. I could see, you talk about savings. We could get a lot of savings if we put a lot of free market principles in place instead of the government control, same old way we've been doing it a long time. But too often I find out with government officials, they turn a deaf ear to that, and we wind up getting more budgets and spending more money on things instead of educating kids. And I think that's where you should be looking at all across the board. Attendance incentive, how about not getting fired? That's a pretty easy one. Why that's not coming up. One gentleman on the Moreno Valley Educators one, I think one gentleman, a board member meeting last one or before, came up and said he had a lot of concerns about putting kindergarten in full time. There was a lot of incentives or a lot of potential pitfalls in that as far as funding and staffing and everything, and I see that's coming up in that, where we have a lot of issues that I keep hearing, and I'm sure you are more well aware of that. Is this the appropriate time to be expanding that program when we have a lot of other challenges in the school district to do that? So I would just think those things would be on the table of what is being talked about if and when you're renegotiating these agreements.
Thank you. All right, now we have public comments on non-agenda items, and how many?
11.
We have 12 speaker slips here. Usually we allow 3 minutes apiece for a total of no more than 21 minutes. I would like to propose, in the light of having so many speakers, that we do 2 minutes apiece and allow all 12 speakers, which would take us for 24 minutes. How do the rest of the board members feel about that? You're okay? All right, just a quick little vote, and we have moved ahead with that. So now, non-agenda items, could we have you set the clock for 2 minutes? I already know that. So first up is Roy Bleckert again.
Bottom line, you have to be accountable for all your actions no matter what. Because people are far more likely to remember how you dealt with a problem than how it was created. By holding yourself accountable, even when excuses are an option, you show that you care about the results more than your ego or image. I'm sure all of you have gone through sexual harassment training. I'm sure you've seen the films. I'm sure everybody's well aware, especially in this body and throughout the school district, I hope, that where the parameters are on this. And what I would call for is a study session from this board, and you actually show the training films and all of this. So when we have to deal with this or when we hear about it, everybody knows what the parameters are and everybody knows what each one of you should be training, and I think have to go through the training so much each time, every so often, year or two, anything else. So it will be clear cut when these allegations come up or when it is dealt with. We will have the standard by which people are judged, because as one of the board members, Evan Morgan, and myself have called for, no elected officials in this body or anybody else, when elected official is on there, they're on their own. There's no city, no resources, no payouts, no nothing for elected officials. That could be done, that should be on the agenda, and that should be passed by this school board, and I'm going to propose that to the city too.
All right, next up, Jolynn Neal. Is Mrs. Neal here? There she is.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to deal with something right now, family related. I have an aunt that's losing the battle. So in short, tonight I'm here because of quite a bit of drama that seems to be taking place in our district. And honestly, I feel really bad that we're having to go through it. As tonight, we've witnessed many children doing great things in our district, and we're here for them. We're not here for selfish reason or the politics. And tonight I come before you as a community member. I don't come to you as a president, but I come to you as someone that lives in this community, I grew up in this community, and have been with the district for 37 years. And I've loved the work that I've done in the district. And to see what is taking place right now is really disappointing. We have a lot of work to do. In this past 5 years, we've done a lot of great work with our children. And our board has a lot of work to do. Our cabinet has a lot of work to do. Our classified staff, our teachers are doing great work. And our children are learning. And that data is shown throughout our district. So it's hard to see the attacks that are taking place on personal and selfish levels. Politics is politics, and I guess we can't change them. But we've had many great leaders in our district, and Jesus Holguin is one of them. I've never been quick to judge a person, and it's hard to see one being judged. And so I ask the public, before it judges anyone, make sure you have both sides of a story. And, and be patient with the district, because it's going to provide you the truth, because that's how transparent we've always been. So thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to mention at this time, and I forgot to say it before, that if you need a translator, when you come up here, please request a translator, and you will be allotted 4 minutes rather than the 2. So twice the time for a member of the public utilizing a translator. Next up is Jose Palomares. Is Mr. Palomares here? Thank you. Wait, who filled out your thing?
Pardon me?
Did you fill out this
Yes.
slip? Putting Jose Palomares?
No. Anyway, before I use all my time here, or you want to start? I'm here to comment on Mr. Holguin's behavior. If that's what he did, proven, he's innocent until he's proven guilty, and I'm sure you're going to come to that conclusion when you read the investigation report of whoever handled it. But, this is a school here. If Mr. Holguin is innocent or if he's guilty, perhaps he should step aside until all of it is cleared up. And, and if it's true, he's dealing with an adult at a school. What about the kids? Is he going to pick on a kid next? This is unacceptable. And if any of the board or anyone protects him, if he's guilty, then you're as guilty as him. You need to really be serious. No means no. And this isn't good. It's a real black mark on this district, if it's true. I'm not here to judge him, but from, Anybody's hearsay is hearsay. We'll wait till you get all of the facts in, and you already have them, but Mr. Holguin, he shouldn't be sitting here, though. I remember one of the board members was being accused of things, and, and they were ready to lynch him. I think this is a little more serious. Sexual harassment. And the thing is, if it comes out to be true and you do a settlement here, you're going to pay somebody something. Why should the taxpayer pay for it? Let him be held accountable for his actions. Thank you.
Jose Chavez.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, my name is Jose Chavez. I still thinking about it, the same thing, what happened with Mike Rios. They accuse him for drug deals, but finally we get the guy for sexual harassment like Mr. Holguin. Mr. Holguin, he should be in the right place, jail, bottom line. And we don't have to pay for our pockets, for our taxes, to defend himself, okay? So, Mr. Quexiora, and you are part of the problem too, because you are supporting this gentleman. Keep in mind what they told you in Altura Credit Union. Whatever the school board did it, is you responsible for everything. I don't know what you wait for. Keep the guy sitting right there. No, if it did, read my lips, justice for all. So that means you're not doing what's supposed to be. I don't know what education you guys have, or they might not really understand the law. Justice for all. And keep in mind, if you don't do nothing in this week, somebody got to come to do it for you. It might be you part of the problem too. Because you are bypass this guy. It's no way. It's no way. I do believe in a justice, bottom line. Thank you.
Okay, Jorge Quintero, and did you arrange for a translator?
Yes.
Thank you. 4 minutes, please.
Sí. Buenas noches, miembro del board.
Good evening, board members.
Señor Quexiora.
Señor Quexiora.
Padres, maestros.
And good evening, parents.
Y la comunidad.
And teachers and all the community.
Es lamentable para nosotros como comunidad mexicana
as
que
Mexican community,
tenemos que emigrar a este país
we have to migrate to this country
por los políticos corruptos que tenemos en México. No porque México sea un país pobre.
Because in our country exists a lot of corruption, a lot of us flee to this country, want to avoid that.
Y eso, desgraciadamente, el caso del señor Holguin nos da vergüenza como comunidad.
And now we find ourselves in this situation with Mr. Holguin.
El presidente Trump siempre se está diciendo que los mexicanos somos los más malos, y usted con sus acciones nos deja peor aquí en este distrito.
Mr. Trump is always complaining how Latinos are really bad hombres and bad men, and now you're an example, Mr. Holguin.
Usted tiene aquí mucho tiempo en este distrito, como 15 o 16 años.
You've been in district for 15 or 16 years.
Yo no veo que haya hecho algo por la comunidad, y la verdad es que nosotros como comunidad mexicana,
and I haven't seen any of actions on your behalf in favor of the community, for the Mexican community.
Nos avergüenza, la verdad, sus acciones.
So it's very embarrassing for us, your actions.
Se dicen muchas cosas de usted, pero yo no sé si sean ciertas, porque yo no soy quien para investigarlos.
So I'm nobody to judge or investigate. I just hear all these things. I'm not sure if this is true or not.
pero sus acciones lastiman a la comunidad latina.
But your actions do hurt and for the Mexican or Latino community.
Porque siempre, como le digo, el señor Trump nos está señalando como los mexicanos los malos, y usted con sus acciones pues nos dejan mal parados o en mala posición.
So again, your actions are making us as a Latina community look bad.
Es una vergüenza porque aquí es el board de educación.
So it's embarrassing again, I reiterate, you are the Board of Education.
Y no veo que exista tal educación en usted.
And I don't see this type of education in you.
Yo ahora voy a tener miedo de mis hijas porque tengo hijas aquí en el distrito y no me voy a sentir a gusto. Y no nomás de usted, hay maestras, hay niñas, hay más niñas por nuestra comunidad.
So now I'm afraid and I'm concerned about my daughters that go to school in this district, for other parents' daughters and other teachers.
Yo sé que usted es una gente poderosa aquí en este distrito. Eso no le permite que abuse de las cosas.
So,
de esa autoridad.
You have a responsibility, you have authority, and I wouldn't want you to abuse that authority.
Es lamentable lo que sucede, señor Holguín, con usted.
Again, it's very unfortunate what's happening, what we're going through now.
Espero que la maestra se solidarice con la maestra que está haciendo, que fue víctima. No sabemos, como le digo, no nos consta.
Repite otra vez eso.
Espero que la maestra Susan Smith se solidarice con la mujer. Solidarice, se apoya a la mujer.
¿Cómo se llama ella?
La maestra, yo no sé.
Okay, dilo otra vez.
Espero que la señora Susan Smith, presidenta de este board, respalde a la maestra, porque usted también es una maestra.
And I hope you, Susan Smith, as a woman, support this woman, the victim, and I hope that you support her.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Next up, Mrs. Quintero.
Buenas noches, miembros del board, público en general.
Good evening, board members and general public.
Estoy aquí como madre
I am here speaking as a mother, on behalf as a mother.
que se preocupa por la educación y el
And
buen ambiente en las escuelas.
as a mother, I'm concerned for education and also the environment in the schools.
Es lamentable la conducta del señor Holguín,
And it's very unfortunate for the actions of Mr. Holguín.
señor Quetzora, señor Verdi, señor Johnson, señor Rose.
And I would like to address Mr. Quetzora, Mr. Verdi, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Bob.
Les quiero preguntar a ustedes que tienen esposas, mamás e hijas.
I would like to ask you one question. You that have wives, mothers, daughters,
¿Les gustaría que las acosaran sexualmente como a la maestra?
would you like someone to abuse sexually your mothers, daughters, sisters, just like they abused the mother, the teacher?
Si tienen abogado del distrito que está defendiendo al acusado, señor Holguín,
Now, one more thing. If you have an attorney that's for the district that is defending Mr. Holguín,
supongo que el abogado del distrito está asesorando a la víctima que es la maestra también.
do you also have an attorney for the teacher, the victim in this case?
¿El abogado está cobrando más dinero por defender al señor Holguín?
The attorney is charging a lot more to defend Mr. Holguín
Porque este dinero se está pagando de nuestros impuestos.
and these funds are coming from our taxes.
En vez de gastarlo en lo que es realmente donde se debe usar la educación de los niños del distrito de Moreno Valley, que es lo que nos interesa más que todo.
These funds could have been used for the other things that are needed in this district.
Nosotros no tenemos la culpa de las acciones de las personas que están aquí.
It is not our fault for the actions of others that are here.
Y ellas deben de pagar sus acciones
And every individual should be accountable for their actions
y responder por ello.
and respond for those actions.
Señora Susan Smith, presidenta, miembro del board, es una vergüenza que usted ha tratado de cubrir al señor Holguín.
And Mrs. Susan Smith, as the board president, it is very unfortunate and it's embarrassing that you are trying to cover Mr. Holguín's tracks.
Siendo mujer y maestra,
As a mother and as a teacher,
debería de estar del lado de nosotras las mujeres.
you should be on our side as mothers, as women.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you
Buenas
so
noches.
much. Good night.
Next up, Alicia Espinoza.
Good evening. Just recently, the Press Enterprise did an article regarding Mr. Jesus Holguín's sexual harassment claim. The victim's name is Eliana Gutierrez. She's the vice principal of Bear Valley School. Her husband is also a teacher for the Moreno Valley Unified School District, Jose Gutierrez. What's unfortunate here is that we have an individual who holds a position here as a school board member. He's a married man with children. Now, the text exchanges that were between him and the victim, where he's suggesting, you know, love, you're soft, things to that nature, are very inappropriate. And having Roy speak here, what is the protocol in training for these school board members when it comes to sexual harassment? I would like to get a copy of that, because when we have a member who's elected by the people and commits these sexual harassments, you know, we end up paying his legal defense because it's part of the school board policy. Another thing that I also need to bring to light is that Jesus Holguín also has retained a high-profile criminal attorney, Virginia Blumenthal. What's also concerning here is we have board members, Evan, we have Mr. Bogg, we have Cleveland Johnson, Mrs. Carol Susan Smith, Maribel Matos, and we have Tina here. You know, who's going to hold him accountable for his actions? I hear people coming here saying he's a good person. What about the victim? What about when she told him, stop sending me those messages? Your sexual advancements are not welcome. Stop. He continued. This is why she filed a complaint. And there's other players that were involved in this complaint that did not support this victim, and I'm not going to mention their names. I'm going to address this issue in private. But
sorry,
this is not
your time
right,
is
and
up.
he needs to be accountable
Mrs.
for his
Espinoza,
actions.
your time is up.
Thank you.
Next up, Leo Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez is not present. How did he fill out the paper if he's not here? It's the same thing with Bob/Jose. All right. Fill out your own speaker slips, then we get your name right, and we know that you're here. Thank you. All right, next up is Dr. Barbara Flores. Dr. Flores?
Good evening, President Smith, Vice President Holguín, distinguished board members, cabinet, community. My name is Dr. Barbara Flores. I am currently a school board member in the San Bernardino City Unified School District, and I've been elected official since 2008. I'm also currently the president of CLSBA, California Latino School Boards Association. I've had the honor and privilege to work with Mr. Holguín since about 2014 as president. He is the treasurer, and I come here tonight to speak in his support and also to commend the board and Dr. Katsura, I forgot to mention you, Dr. Katsura, for following board procedures and due process. People are innocent until proven guilty. We, as board members, have to do the investigations and honor the investigations. And And we, as board members, are dedicated to do public service. And this has been my experience with Mr. Holguin. He has many central core values, which include respect, trust, honesty, integrity. He has shown these leadership qualities in his effectiveness in leading and being collaborative, and also with many stakeholders, organizations, and multiple entities, as evidenced tonight by all the incredible accomplishments that this district does. It is by the board members. Am I done?
You have 14 seconds.
Board members, because it's off. It's been done by board members with Dr. Katsura, and I commend you for your leadership and for all the great practices with the students. I'm going to take back to my board some of the practices that you've done.
Thank you. Your time is up. Yes, can I have the tech support team? That microphone is not working. We were not able to hear the end of Dr. Flores' comments. You know, everyone deserves a fair hearing, and when the microphone is not working, you are not getting a fair hearing.
Test. Test.
Thank you.
Would you want me to say it?
About the last 30 seconds.
I just wanted to commend the board and Dr. Katsura and the cabinet and all the teachers and principals related to all the wonderful successes that were just shared today. That takes leadership, it takes collaboration, it takes trust, it takes respect for each other, and it is quite evident by all your accomplishments.
Thank you so much. All right, next up is Fina Marquez. I hope I got your name correctly. Ms. Marquez? Thank you. You're on.
Good evening. Good evening, board members. Good evening, Dr. Katsura. I came here, I'm a parent ambassador for the school district, but I'm not here to talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing as a school district. Dr. Katsura, you're doing a wonderful job. More than anything, everything a parent needs you're there. Every time somebody wants you to call, you're there. We see you on the street, you're there. The students are happy to see you, you're there. All the school members, the board members, every time we have a workshop, they're there. So we have so much to say about, but as a parent, I'm a parent, I had children in the school district, and as a mother, and I'm really concerned about the education of my child, and I want to thank you because my child is excellent on purpose. So rather than bringing all this drama and politics, I want to talk about how the great successes my child on in school. All the great programs that LCAP money has been supporting all the programs, parenting workshops, STEAM programs, it's the math festival. So I'm here as a mother talking about the education. Thank you for the safety, for keeping safe our children. Thank you for taking right away taking care of anything that is going on. Thank you so much. As a mother, I really thank you. We're here for the children. We're not here for the adults. We're not here to judge anybody. And it's proven, like everybody says, until somebody is guilty, then we can say something. Other than that, we need to focus on our children and our education. If you have children, you need to come over their children. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have somebody talking on our Parent Ambassador program, Nicole Brown.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Katsura and cabinet. I just wanted to come and let you guys know that as parent ambassadors, we are out in the district and we're working really hard. I personally am a representative at Mountain View Middle School and Valley View High School. And Mountain View has returned from spring break all geared up for the CASP exams. They're doing reviews, they're working on SHMOOP and Khan Academy. They are getting their students prepared so that they will all be quite successful and meet their goals the last week of April when they are taking their CASP exams. Thank you for all of the resources that you all have provided for them to be able to use so that they will be prepared. Also, as parent ambassadors, we were out at the community LCAP meetings. Thank you, Dr. Kadziora. Bless you, Mr. Morgan. Thank you for the presentations. Thank you for the information that you provided for us. One of the things that you discussed was the gap in achievement for African American students. And one of the things that happened just this past week was there was an African American awards ceremony at Valley View High School with 127 African American students that were given awards, achievement awards, for having a 3.0 or better. Your systems are working. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Now we have Michael Fogarty. Michael Fogarty?
You got that right. Most people mess up the last name. So, anyways, I'm Michael Fogarty. I'm a proud resident and parent of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, and I've had 3 kids come through the system. 2 of them are currently in the system, and their needs have been, wide-ranging from special ed to overachiever students. In fact, my daughter was #1 in her freshman class in one of the high schools last year. So, when we go to family events at the school sites and stuff, there's always 2 fixtures that are always there. This Mr. Holguin and our superintendent. And, their support, I don't know where they get all their energy, because I miss a lot of those events, and I'm like, well, I'm going to show up and one of them won't be there. But both of them are, like, constantly there. And you, Mr. Johnson, too, I see you quite a bit, so thank you. So, and my kids actually know who you are, what you look like, and what your name is, Mr. Holguin and Superintendent. And, when I went to school, I didn't know who my superintendent was. I seen his name signature somewhere. I didn't know any of the board members. But my kids know who you are. So I just wanted to come tonight to lend my support to all the whole board, the teachers, the classified staff, everybody in this district that has made it worthwhile for me and my family. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, as you have spoken about tonight, we have had an ongoing investigation. We would like to present the results of that investigation tonight, and in order to do that, we have the attorney for the district president, Mr. Chris Keeler, and we'd like to ask Mr. Keeler to come forward now and present those, tell us a little bit about the investigation, how it was done, and present those findings to us. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. The district normally doesn't comment on pending personnel matters, and that's because of the privacy rights of the people that are involved. But because of the various statements that have been made publicly tonight and in other fora, it is appropriate to provide a brief response at this point. The response is not going to get deep into the substance of the matter, nor, well, it will focus mostly on the procedural. First, I'd say that in my experience, the district has taken allegations of sexual harassment very seriously. And I've worked for this district for over 10 years, done a lot of work with the personnel department, and an organization this large will from time to time have claims of sexual harassment. And in my experience, the district has always taken them very seriously, regardless of who makes the complaint or who the complaint is made about. Because of this attitude towards such claims, the district asked our firm to retain an outside investigative agency to investigate a recent claim of sexual harassment filed by a district employee against board member Jesus Holguin. Specifically, we retained Dr. Susan Liberati from Liberati and Associates. She is the chief officer of an independent consulting firm that is licensed by the state of California to conduct investigations. So she was the principal investigator in this case. Dr. Liberati has completed her investigation and did not substantiate any claims of misconduct. If improper conduct had been substantiated, the district would be obligated to take action to stop that misconduct and prevent it from recurring. I note that even when it is determined that no unlawful conduct has occurred, the district may still provide advice and directives, conduct training, or take other action to make the district an even better, more welcoming place. The district respects the free speech rights of employees and members of the public. And some scandal or controversy may be normal during an election year. But regardless of any external pressures, the district's obligation is to ensure a discrimination-free environment for its employees. As to this matter, we believe the district has met its obligation. If a complainant disagrees, that employee has further recourse, such as by filing a complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing or with the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. We respect the right of employees to file administrative complaints and to pursue them in front of DFEH or the EEOC or any other agency that enforces anti-discrimination or employment laws. The district participates in good faith in such investigations led by those agencies. And the district also protects all employees who participate in those investigations or make complaints from retaliation. So under law, a complaining employee, even if their complaint is not sustained, that person has a right to be protected from retaliation and treated well within the district. That's all I intend to share tonight. I don't plan to comment on the substance of the complaint or the specific findings of the investigation, again, based on the privacy rights of those people that are involved.
Was he exonerated? No. I think that what Mr. Keeler said was that there was no substantiation of any claims of misconduct.
That's right. None of the claims were substantiated by the investigator. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Keeler. I would like to ask you one thing.
Okay.
Has all right, I would like to ask a question. Has Dr. Liberati ever worked for this district before?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so we have hired somebody who is not an employee of the district, who is not an employee of your law firm, to conduct this investigation.
And yes, and that was an important consideration because it would be very difficult for an administrator to investigate their own board member. It's like investigating your boss.
Right.
So in this case, we felt that it was important that a neutral third party come in and do the investigation. And Dr. Liberati, to my knowledge, has never worked for this district before. She has a very long history in education and as an investigator and even as a school district administrator, but never with this district.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else? Do any members of the board have any other questions of Mr. Keeler at this time?
I don't have any questions for you, but I do want to say thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't have any questions, but I do want to say thank you for staying here and watching all the awards tonight and then coming up with your presentations. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, and it's actually a pleasure to see all the good stuff that's happening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, all right. So, claims were not substantiated. We recognize that during the election year, there may be increased interest in scandal and controversy for a variety of reasons. And as Mr. Keeler said, we always try to find a way to make the district a better and more welcoming place to work and to go to school and to be involved in. So thank you very much. We will take a recess for 5 minutes. Thank you. All right, could we have everyone come back to their places?
We wanted to live. Who's going to be able to get friends with that? That's a good question. No one is here. I can offer just read it.
These people make me so mad, and I just.
Oh, I get that's me.
I just want to jump over him and strangle him, but okay. I mean, especially since they really don't know what happened. They have no all right, we are reconvening at 9:30 for a public hearing. What we need is a motion to open the public hearing regarding bargaining objectives by the CSEA in the Moreno Valley Chapter 410. So could I have a motion to open the hearing?
I'd like to make a motion that we open this hearing.
Motion made by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Meeting is open. Are there any public comments on this proposal? No?
So during the,
Okay.
this is for G1, Mrs. Smith, a public hearing. This is the Moreno Valley Unified School District's 18-19 bargaining objectives and initial proposal for our collective bargaining negotiations with the California School Employees Association and our local Chapter 410. So I will read into the record the district's bargaining objectives for 2018-2019. Article 17, assignment and reclassification of bargaining unit members. The district and CSCA are interested in updating and clarifying the reclassification process and the language in Article 17. Article 25, written reprimands, corrective action, and discipline for permanent unit members. The district is interested in making a problem-solving a collaborative mandatory step prior to initiating the mediation process. Article 32, under non-paid leaves of absence, the bargaining team will review and update antiquated language for compliance with any changes in current law. This list is not exhaustive, and the district and CSCA reserve the right to make additional proposals as negotiations progress. The district and CSCA reserve the right to make proposals concerning other articles as they both deem necessary and appropriate. Additional subjects of meeting and negotiations arising after the presentation of this proposal shall be made public within 24 hours pursuant to Government Code Section 3547D. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, I would like a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin? Mrs. Smith?
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Meeting item is closed. Moving on to the next one, which I think is also Mr. Verde's, Dr. Verde's item.
I can introduce the item for you, Mrs. Smith. For item G2, we are asking the board to now take action and adopt the 2018-2019 bargaining objectives initial proposal of Moreno Valley Unified School District with CSCA Chapter 410.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Baugh. Seconded by Mr. Holguin. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin? Mrs. Smith?
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Next item on the agenda, page 24, 24G3. I'm trying to say 4 and 3 at the same time. Okay, page 24G3. Again, Dr. Verde, you're up.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. At this time, we'll invite the Chapter 410 President, Ms. Jolene Neal, to the podium. She's going to read into the record the California School Employees Association, Chapter 410, 1819 Bargaining Objectives with Moreno Valley Unified School District.
You owe us one now, though. Just kidding.
Is it on? Oh, here you go. Now you know why we like working together. We have a lot of fun. Glasses. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you get old. Here we go. CSEA 2018 Reopener Bargaining Objectives. Chapter 410 proposes to negotiate the following articles and subject during negotiation on a successor agreement. Article 10, Recruitment and Selection of Personnel. Article 19, Guidelines for Overtime Work. Article 27, Salary Reopener. Article 28, Health and Welfare Reopener. Article 30, Vacation. This list pertains to a wide variety of issues that we need to address, and we hope the board accepts this agreement. Thank you.
All right, we need to open a public hearing on the CSEA proposal.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Boss, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Are there any public comments on the objectives, bargaining objectives of the CSEA Chapter 410? If there are no public comments, we would like a motion to close the public hearing.
We close the public hearing.
Moved by Mr. Holguin to close the public hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye, 5 ayes, no nays. The hearing is closed. Now we have heard the California School Employee Association's bargaining objectives. We are now need a motion to accept those objectives.
I move we accept those objectives.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Morgan, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Okay, it seems like a lot of opening, closing, and moving. So, moving along, I wrote a note for myself here, but I didn't ask the question. Okay, we are now moving on to the Moreno Valley Educators Association. Should we open the public hearing before we hear from Dr.? Okay, so let's have a motion to open the public hearing.
I move we open the public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. All right, so during the public hearing, let's have first Dr. Verde present this, our proposal.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. For item G5, during the public hearing, I am now presenting the district bargaining objectives for collective bargaining with the Moreno Valley Educators Association for the 2018-2019 bargaining cycle. The district is bringing forward Article 10, Hours and Assignments, to review and update language as it pertains to working conditions for implementation of full-day kinder program district-wide, also clarifying working conditions as it pertains to grade level leader and department chair positions. Article 13, class size, to review the current process for overages of class size. Article 15, the evaluation procedures, to continue to monitor and amend as necessary our new certificated evaluation process. Under the California Peer Assistance and Review Program, to consider any recommendations from the PAR panel. Also Article 21, transfers. The district has an interest to consider clarification to contract language that affects transfers, grade level assignments, and programmatic impacts, particularly at the elementary level. Finally, Appendix B, under extra duty, consider clarification to language pertaining to adjunct duties, supervision duties, and extra duties. All current contract conditions shall remain the same unless modified through our IBB negotiations process. Again, this list is not exhaustive, and the district and MVEA reserve the right to make additional proposals as negotiations progress. reserve the right to make proposals concerning other articles and issues as we both deem necessary and appropriate. Any additional subjects of meeting and negotiations rising after the presentation of tonight's initial proposal will be made public within 24 hours pursuant to Government Code Section 3547D. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments as part of the public hearing? Comments from the board? All right, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh to close the public hearing. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Next item is accepting the MVEA proposal to adopt their bargaining objectives.
I move we adopt the...
Wait, we need to first adopt the Moreno Valley Unified School District's proposed bargaining objectives, and then we'll go on to the union. So page 30, we need a motion to
We
adopt.
approve the initial proposal.
I second.
All right, moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. All right, now as we move forward to part 2 of this, we are looking at the Moreno Valley Educators Association proposal, and we need to open a hearing on their proposal.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Baugh, seconded by Mr. Holguin. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Now, do we have somebody to speak on this, Dr. Verde?
I was going to ask that very same question, so now would be the opportunity for a representative from the Moreno Valley Educators Association to read into the record their 2018-19 reopener and bargaining objectives, if anyone is here.
I do not see them.
Nobody.
I do not see them. Would you like me to read those into the record for them, Mrs. Smith?
I think that would be good.
Okay.
Let's help them out.
We will help them out. To clarify, this is the Moreno Valley Educators Association 2018-19 bargaining objectives with the district for this bargaining cycle. Article 5, under association rights, to incorporate changes in the law, Assembly Bill 119, into the collective bargaining agreement. Article 7, salaries. The association has an interest in providing wages comparable to other metro districts and to update Appendix B accordingly. Article 8, benefits. The association has an interest in minimizing the out-of-pocket health benefits cost to members. Under Article 9, school calendar, to review and establish future calendars for outgoing school years. Article 10, hours and assignments. The association has interest in the following areas: to clarify the distribution of adjunct duties, to clarify working conditions for professional development specialists, to clarify working conditions for athletic directors, and to clarify working conditions for dual language immersion teachers. Under Article 15, evaluation procedures, the association has an interest to continue to monitor and amend the new certificated evaluation process as necessary, and they have an interest in establishing the teacher evaluation language to conform with Education Code sections 44,500 and 44,664 to give teachers the option and administrators the option of assigning teachers a 5-year evaluation cycle. Under the PAR program, the association has an interest in considering any recommendations from the joint PAR panel, that's peer assistance and review. And finally, the association has an interest in updating the Children's Center Permit Teachers section of the contract, updating the CBA to make sure that the language in the contract pertains to CCP teachers.
Could I ask one question? What is AB 119?
That particular change in law, Ms. Smith, has to do with new employee orientation and giving our associations access to our new employees when they are first hired, and we are currently practicing that. We just need to update the language to reflect that.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Anything from the board on these objectives from the Moreno Valley Educators Association?
I propose that we approve and accept.
Wait. First, we have to close our hearing.
Oh.
Move to close the hearing.
I'll do that.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Baugh, seconded by Mr. Morgan to close the public hearing.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Now, we need,
I move that we accept their proposal.
exactly.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Baugh, seconded by Mr. Morgan, that we accept the Moreno Valley Educators Association bargaining objectives.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Now we're moving along to G9, page 36. Oh, yes, I do remember that. Here it is. So, this is the resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District approving and authorizing the execution of the school facilities funding and mitigation agreement and joint community facilities agreement and delegating authority related thereto. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Morgan, seconded by
Mr. Baugh.
Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. So that was 5 ayes, no nays. The Board of Education will now address matters relating to proposed Community Facilities District number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. This is agenda item number G10. I totally lost where that is, page 111. Thank goodness they put that down for me. At least we're moving along quickly. Okay. The first matter on the agenda is to conduct notice public hearings regarding proposed CFD number 2018-1, the proposed levy of special taxes and the authorization of incurring bonded indebtedness within CFD number 2018-1. This is the time and place designated for the public hearings on the proposed establishment of CFD number 2018-1. The proposed rate and method of apportionment of special tax and the incurring of bonded indebtedness by CFD number 2018-1. I declare the public hearings now open. Will staff please provide a presentation regarding proposal CFD number 2018-1?
CFD number 2018-1 will provide funding for the school facilities as set forth in the School Facilities Funding and Mitigation Agreement between and among Moreno Valley Unified School District and Beazer Home Holdings, LLC. Special District Financing Administration has prepared and submitted the CFD report for proposed CFD 2018-1. We also have Miss Wendy Wiles here from Atkinson Andelson, Lloyd Romo, and Rude. So if anybody has any questions for her,
do you have anything to say?
Only if you need to ask any questions, I'm glad to do so.
Okay.
How much is this going to make the people buying these Beazer homes mortgage going to go up?
I certainly, and good evening. I certainly can't address how much their mortgage will go up, but the idea behind most of the communities where they have the CFDs is that they're pricing them with the CFD. And
Please speak into the microphone.
I'm sorry. It affects the home price when they're valuing the home price in general. So for this particular one, I wouldn't know, how it would affect their actual mortgage, what a price it would go up by.
Okay.
But when the builder says that this house is going to cost X number of dollars, it includes the Millarus, right?
Yes, that's true.
So there's no surprise.
No, they're required to provide disclosure statements to any prospective home purchaser that identifies the existence of a special tax on the home and what that tax would be, and then gives them contact information if they have any questions regarding that.
And that tax goes away after 30 years, right?
Yes.
Any other questions? I think I've known some people that even though these taxes were disclosed before they bought their home, when they get their tax bill, they are still surprised. So I always hope that's not the case.
We always hope that's not the case.
All right. Okay, has staff confirmed that all notices, filings, and publications have been completed?
All notices, filings, and publications for these public hearings have been accomplished and are on file at the district office.
Okay, thank you so much. Have any written protests been received from any person as to these proceedings, the special taxed or proposed bonded indebtedness for CFD number 2018-1?
No written protests have been received.
Okay. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak in favor of CFD number 2018-1, the proposed rate and method of apportionment of special taxes, or the proposed bonded indebtedness of CFD number 28-1? If so, please give your name and address and state whether you are an owner of property within the proposed CFD number 2018-1 or a registered voter within that area. Does anybody own homes there yet? No. Okay. All right, is there anyone present who wishes to speak against or protest generally against A, the establishment of CFD number 2018-1, the extent of CFD number 2018-1, the types of public facilities to be financed through CFD number 2018-1, the rate and method of apportionment of special tax proposed for CFD number 2018-1, or in the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness in an amount not to exceed $20 million. If so, please give your name and address, and if applicable, state whether you are an owner of property within the proposed CFD or a registered voter within that CFD. Okay, since there are no residents yet, nobody's here to speak for or against. If there are no more comments, I will declare the public hearings closed. The public hearings in regard to CFD number 2018-1 are now closed. Has staff determined whether there is a majority protest as to the establishment of proposed CFD number 2018-1, the furnishing of the specified types of facilities or services within proposed CFD 2018-1, the levy of special taxes within CFD number 2018-1, the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness or other related matters?
No protests have been received as to any pending matters relating to the proposed CFD 2018-1.
All right, agenda item number G11. Moving right along to page
Point of
112.
order, I don't think that we opened it up. We just went right into it.
Do you know what? I have a script on following that, Mr. Baugh.
Somebody may have made a mistake in the script.
No, it says.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, okay, so we don't have to worry about it. It was moved and seconded by, it's on page 111.
She says it's okay.
The president, as the president,
The
Fine.
president opened it. We didn't have a roll
Fine.
call vote.
So we skipped the roll call vote.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we going to open the G11 on page 112?
I move that we do.
What?
I move that we do.
Okay.
Second.
All right. We have a move and second that, wait, we're not ready for that. We don't need to open the hearing. This is to approve the resolution.
I approve, we approve.
We haven't talked about it yet. Can we just follow the script? All right. The next matter is consideration of resolution number 2017-18-72, which reads as follows. Resolution of intention of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District determining the validity of prior proceedings, establishing community facilities, District number 2018-1, authorizing the levy of special taxes within Community Facilities District number 2018-1, establishing an appropriations limit, making certain findings, calling an election, and taking related actions. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I move that we approve this resolution.
You want a second? I'll second it.
You got a second and a
Moved by
third.
Mr. Morgan, seconded by Mr. Holguin, thirded by Mr. Johnson. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Now we're going to page 312.
No,
No,
178.
178. What is this, page 312?
For when we get to the next CFP item.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're not there yet. That's right. Sorry.
So we're going to skip the consent agenda and go to the next?
No.
We're going to go to the consent agenda.
You're going to
Okay.
go 178.
We're not
178.
going to go to this, what comes up on the agenda.
All right, I will put it aside then and move along to the consent agenda. And we have removed a couple of items from the consent agenda. I have lost my notes. Oh, here they are. Okay. We are pulling from the consent agenda item H4A1B, and I know. That goes with this, right?
That's human resources.
And we also have already voted on item H4A, page 233. So could we take those two items off the consent agenda and have a motion to approve the rest of the consent
I move
agenda?
we approve the consent agenda with the exception of the two items you mentioned, President.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. All right, so moving to page 242, Action Education Services. Ooh, where are those?
That's where they are, on page 242.
Oh, okay, well, I was moving to
So, question for clarification. The two items that were removed, we're not taking any action on those two items tonight?
All right, we are totally pulling this one item, H4A1B, and the other one, we already voted on. It was the hiring of the transportation
Thank you.
person. We voted on that earlier.
Thank you.
So one we moved, and the other one we totally pulled, according to Dr. Verde. All right, so now we're moving to page 242, student discipline cases, which we discussed in closed session.
I move we approve the discipline cases as presented.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Baugh to approve the actions on student disciplinary cases as presented.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Okay. Thank you. We are now on page 250. I don't know why I didn't put a little sticky in there, but okay. Authorization of parent community booster clubs. We are tonight approving booster clubs for Canyon Springs High School Football Cougar SACS and the Valley View High School Football Booster Club from Valley View High School. So we have two community booster clubs to authorize tonight.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we authorize these parent community booster clubs for the 2018 as presented.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Okay. We are moving to page 252. Mrs. Maddox, could you talk to us about this approval of revised Head Start program?
We are required, with the assistance of Riverside County Office of Education, to revise our policy in accordance with Head Start performance standards. And we have two policies that needed to be revised to reflect these requirements, and asking for the school board to approve these before submission to our COE.
Thank you. So,
What are the two revisions?
One was on attendance, to make sure that the teachers, take attendance according to the standards. And the other one was on medication and the administration of medication. There are really so many guidelines. We're just updating that requirement.
Thank you. I remember reading it now. Thank you.
okay, can I have a motion to approve the revised Head Start program policies?
So moved. I'll second then.
Okay, moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holkeen?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Moving to the Head Start self-assessment, Ms. Maddox, could you talk about this as well?
Head Start, it's required to do a self-assessment. It's an internal monitoring tool to make sure that we are meeting all the regulations. And so the summary that you have before you provides information regarding areas of compliance and findings, and all findings have been corrected and addressed.
All right, so we need a motion to approve the 2017-18 Head Start self-assessment as presented.
So moved.
Okay. A second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Baugh, seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holkeen?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Moving right along to page 282, approval of secondary district plan for work experience education application to the state.
Did you skip
Oh, wait.
72?
Sorry, I'll go back. I'll go back. Somehow, I usually mark these pages, I didn't get a marker in there. Yeah, one more. Okay, so, one more Head Start thing. So, Mrs. Maddox, could you again talk
Our
to us
district
about
Head
this?
Start program had a visitation November 6th through 9th, 2017, and they also looked at our program. We had to come up with a plan on how to address any areas that they found were either in non-compliance. So you have the plan before you that our COE has already approved, and also the Head Start Parent Policy Committee has approved to address all these areas. They will come back to our district to make sure that's already in place. So if you notice, the whole plan says either completed or in progress or ongoing for each of those components.
All right, thank you. Vote to approve the Head Start Quality Improvement Plan.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for the vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holkeen?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. All right. Now we're on J1D, approval of secondary district plan for work experience education application to the state. Ms. Maddox, could you discuss this with us?
You have before you tonight the plan for our work experience program, which includes not only the classes that we offer for work experience, but also guidelines on how to issue work permits. So part of the process is to make sure that you have the plan before you for approval on our work experience programs, which is really at all of our high schools, including alternative ed sites.
So do all students who are working need a work permit?
Yes, if they're under 18,
If they're
16
under
to
18.
18, yes.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the secondary district plan for work experience education application.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Morgan, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holkeen?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye. Okay. When does this come out? Next to last. You just throw it at me when it's time. Okay. So now we are moving along to page 312. How come I lost my place? To page 312, item number J2A. Resolution number 2017-18-72, Form CFD number 2018-1 for the next 4 agenda items. The board will now be acting as the legislative body of CFD number 2018-1. So I hope you're prepared for that responsibility. Resolution number 2017-18-73 reads as follows. Resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District acting as the legislative body of Community Facility District number 2018-1 determining the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness in an amount not to exceed $20 million within Community Facilities District number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Pursuant to Resolution Number 2017-18-72 and 2017-18-73, the Chief Business Official is the CFD number 2018-1, election official for described combined special tax and bond election of Community Facilities District number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Have you received the waiver from the landowner that is necessary to conduct the combined special tax and bond election of the Community Facilities District number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District?
We received the written waiver from the landowner within the CFD 2018-1 permitting the election to be held at this time, and the waiver was duly approved and signed.
Does the Chief Business Official acting as the election official for CFD number 2018-1 concur in the request to hold the election less than 125 days after the adoption of the resolution of formation for CFD number 2018-1?
Yes.
Who will be voting on that?
We will.
Are we going to vote on it? Yes. Okay. We are now moving to page 320. Wait. 319. Here's 320. It's between two tabs. All right. So, agenda item number J2B, conduct special tax and bond election and receive results of such election. Has the CFD number 2018-1 election official received the ballots from the qualified voters within CFD number 2018-1? If so, please declare the results of the election.
Members of the board, the special election called for CFD 2018-1 on the combined special tax and bond election has been conducted, and the results of the election are as follows. On Proposition 2018-1A, I received one ballot with 29 votes in favor and 0 votes opposed. Based on the votes of the ballot, Proposition 2018-1A has passed. The certification of election results will be attached to resolution number 2017-1874, which is presented for your consideration.
Thank you. All right, we are moving to J2C, resolution number 2017-18-74. A resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District number 2018-1, canvassing the results of the election held within the Community Facilities District number 2018-1. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Morgan. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Is this the one that we pulled? 323?
328.
I have 328. Okay. (328), agenda item number J2D, first reading of ordinance number 2017-18-75, the ordinance of Community Facilities District number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District authorizing the levy of a special tax within Community Facilities District number 2018-1. Do I have a motion to present the first reading of ordinance number 2017-18-75 by title only?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Morgan.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Holguin. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Okay, we have now voted to read the title. Are you reading the title as the Okay, it said the
We did
secretary
put
of
the
the board, which
secretary.
was you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. You told me in our preview thing that you were reading.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Look at me. I am terrible. All right.
Bad boy.
The title of Ordinance 2017-1875 reads as follows. Ordinance of Community Facilities District Number 2018-1 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District authorizing the levy of a special tax within Community Facilities District Number 2018-1.
Thank you. Copies of proposed ordinance number 2017-18-75 are available at the district's business office for public inspection. It is expected that ordinance number 2017-18-75 will be formally adopted at the board's next regular meeting to be held on May 8th, 2017? 2018. Sorry. The next regular meeting to be held on May 8th, 2018. I'm so used to this 2017 deal that I just...
Believe me, it's a lot.
The matters related to CFD number 2018-1 are complete for this evening. The board will no longer be acting as the legislative body of the CFD number 2018-1 for the remaining items of the agenda. The board will now be acting as the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Thank goodness, because we're way more familiar with that. So, we are moving now to we have pulled item J2F.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Gotta
Page
go to
347.
Gotta go back to 347. I apologize.
Okay,
I'm not a very good helper tonight.
that's okay. Okay, 347. Mrs. Dagnall, would you please enlighten us on J2E, page 347?
This resolution is similar to the resolution from our CFD meeting, 2017-1860. And in this case, both the CFD and the board must jointly take action. And this is for the CFD 2005-4 that we spoke about in the earlier meeting.
I thought we were not acting as the legislative body.
We're not, this is actually for the district. The
This
board,
is for the district. The Board of
Oh, so this is
Education of
the
the
other
Moreno
one?
Valley
Mhm,
Unified
this is the
School
other one.
District approving. So this is, actually, we're acting as the district board now, and we need a motion to approve the mitigation implementation agreement.
Okay.
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Morgan,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin. Mrs. Smith.
Aye. Now I'm moving over to page 392, which is an item that has been, the resolution authorization to establish a special reserve for capital outlay projects. Fund 40 that has been pulled for tonight will be on a future agenda. All right. Now we are moving to human resources, discussion action items. 394. Dr. Verde, would you please take us through J3A?
Thank you, Ms. Smith. This is a relatively regular item we bring forward to the board where we review vacancies for certain classified positions. In this case, on this particular resolution, we are bringing forward 7 vacant positions. We've worked in accordance with the president of Chapter 410 CSCA in reviewing these positions, and so we're recommending that the board eliminate these vacant IA positions tonight.
Okay, we need a motion to approve this resolution. Moved by Mr. Morgan, seconded by Mr. Baugh. Call for a vote.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Thank you. I think we are, what? An acknowledgement item, Mrs. Maddox, 396. The third, I don't know. Well, the quarterly report on the Williams uniform complaints. Could you address that for us?
No complaints, no Williams complaints were filed with any school in the district during the quarter indicated.
Thank you. That's always good to know. Now we will move on to comments from board members and superintendent. And we'll start with Mr. Morgan.
Before we went on our little recess, we had the opportunity to go out to the districts for the peaceful protest, if you will, by the students commemorating the 17 students who died in Parkland, Florida. I went to Valley Views. Dr. Verdi was there with me. Councilmember Cabrera also showed up, as well as some of our staff. And it was a very nice ceremony that happened. I think it was a great idea to coordinate a stage in or a walk in or a shut in or whatever you want to call it, as opposed to the students trying to walk out and end up in the streets. That's never a good idea for them to be out that way. They're safer here on the campus. Even with the news of all the shootings and everything, you know, there's just so many more things out there that can put them at risk. So it was a nice ceremony, like I said. What I would like to see from it is, as opposed to just sit-ins or speeches or whatever, is I'd like to see more groups formed, more, not just, you know, the group for tennis or the group for chess or the group for this type of student or that type of student or this club or that club, but unity groups that are going to come together and reach out to those kids that might be getting picked on or that might not have all the same amount of friends as everybody else, or the ones that kind of sit in the corner, those kids that are susceptible to being picked on, or the kids that don't have a lot of friends and that, you know, they're not the type that'll go out there and ask or look for them, but those kids would love to have a friend. And it takes stepping forward and approaching those kids and offering your friendship. So more than anything else, what we really need to do is love each other and be friends with one another and just go out there and welcome somebody. Whether as an adult we should lead the way in this. You know, I know a lot of times you're standing in line at a grocery store, at Target or something, and there's people right there next to you, and you just get on your cell phone and ignore the world. You know, today I was in Ono, Hawaii, and there was a lady sitting at a table, and I wanted to sit, and so I just, hey, you mind if I sit with you? Oh, sure. And just struck up a conversation and had a good conversation. It was friendly, and you know, we need more of that. We need to show kids that they don't need to stick to their cliques or you know, distance themselves from the world. We need to be completely out there and willing to talk to anybody and be friends with anybody and ask people how they're doing and how their day is going. If we have a lot more of that, I think that we'll have a lot less of the other things happening. And so yeah, there was something else I wanted to say, and my papers ended up gone somehow during the award ceremony, but I can't remember what it was now, but I wrote it down on the student presentations. I circled a couple things and now it's gone. So I guess I'll cut my night short and pass it on to Gary.
I simply want to make a comment about salacious comments towards a board member. And it's disappointing that people with no facts would trump up charges and make it as if it is true, and will not accept the fact that investigations have been done and results and findings have been made. It troubles me that the same people always come and complain about everything, and Just I wanted to say how much I support and admire Mr. Holguin and for all that he's done for the students of Moreno Valley and for the school boards throughout the state of California. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. I have a little list, but don't worry, don't get excited because I'm going to hold my first one, and I'll do it. I'll do it the next time we meet. But just to piggyback just a little bit on what you were saying, and I'm not going to go into any deep details, but that gentleman sitting back there, sir, I commend you for the words that you used when you came up here. And the reason I say I commended him, here's what he said. He's seen Dr. Ketziora, Jesus, and a few times he's seen me. Now, the reason I'm commending him is because, the other three board members, they have things to do, and they make a lot of those events, as many as they possibly can, so we're not leaving them out. But the thing I appreciate about what he said was that he noticed something positive and he said it. It's all right to say something negative, but just like you do in your home with your children, if you never pat them on the back, they'll think that they're no good. So you have to sometimes at least point out one thing that they've done well. So I was going to say something about the Freedom Writers, but I'm not going to say it tonight. I'm going to wait until the next time we meet. So I'm going to go on to my second one. State of education. Dr. Ketziora and Jesus and I, we went down to, where did we go? Palm Springs? Wasn't Palm Springs. Where did we go?
We went to Indian Wells.
Indian Wells.
I was there too.
Yeah, you were there too, yes. All four of us.
Thank you.
Yes, she was there too. But anyway, here's the whole point. She talked about progress from a lot of different school districts. And one of the school districts that she mentioned was very refreshing, was the one that she just left, Moreno Valley Unified. Didn't have to do it, but she said what was on the paper. My point in saying that is, while we're only in halftime, if you ever watch a football game, it's 4 quarters. This is not the fourth quarter. We're at halftime. But in the meantime, when you go into the locker room, if you ever played football, if you ever played any kind of sports, when you go into the locker room, especially if you're ahead, the coach is going to get on you a little bit about some things that you're not doing right. But I guarantee you he's going to pat you on the back about the things that you are doing good for our students. So I do want you to know that she did acknowledge what's happening here at Moreno Valley Unified. We went down to Edgemont, and Edgemont had a teacher recruitment. Is that what it's called, teacher recruitment?
Job fair.
Job fair, okay. Personally, I thought we may get 4 or 5 people coming, just a few people coming. I couldn't believe the number of people that showed up looking for a job. But here's the biggest thing of all. We got some of the best people, I think, probably in this county. I was wondering, I asked Dr. Verde, where do they come from? They come from other schools. You know why? They want to be in this district. So it boggles my mind, how come folks that good want to come to this district where some people, we don't believe it though, so where some people say, we're not doing anything. If you would have been in Edgemont and saw what we saw, I mean, it was very obvious, those that they did, because I didn't have anything to do with the interview process, but it's very obvious that those people were the cream of the crop. I think you're going to be satisfied, well satisfied, with whoever they choose that's going to be teaching our students this coming school year. They did a wonderful job. And then number 4, now I had nothing to do with it, but I'm just going to mention this year. 2010 is when I came on the board. I don't think we had any schools in middle schools that was a school to watch. Did we? We didn't. How many middle schools do we have? I can't remember.
6.
We have 6. Well, how come I have 4 schools that received an award for school to watch? I mean, how did we do that?
Apply for it.
We applied for it. Yeah, we applied for it. But when you apply for it, I don't know if you're in the military or not, but they have folks that come out and inspect you. And if you do well, they'll let you know. But if you don't do well, they'll let you know about that as well. But we have some tough people that come out here, and they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. We have 4 schools that receive a prestigious award like that, and I've never heard anybody in the audience ever saying a word about it. So you mean to tell me you don't have any friends or kids that go to Mountain View? You don't have any kids or friends that go to Sunnymead Middle, Landmark, or Vista Heights? You never heard of those awards? Well, I'll tell you what, if you haven't heard of them, when you have some time, stop by the district, ask Dr. Ketzier, hey man, Cleveland, what's my name? Johnson, whatever my name is. He was talking about these awards. Can you tell me something about these things? What does that mean? You're to be congratulated, Moreno Valley Unified. The teachers that we have, the students that we have, the administrators that we have, the board, I'm not the board, but the cabinet we have, some great people. If you've never worked with great people before, recognize who you're working with right now. And I will tell you, the other 2 schools, I know one for sure just barely missed it this last round. They're working hard, and I guarantee you within a short period of time, they're going to also be a school to watch. My next one is Moreno Valley College. I don't know why we didn't talk about this, but Stephanie Sanchez, she goes to Valley View. Eduardo Martinez, he goes to Moreno Valley High. Both those kids were cited, or were is that the correct word? They were cited, awarded scholarships. Outstanding students. Again, how did they do that? Did they do it on their own? Well, we know the parents helped them. We know that much. But they had some inner drive that they got from home. But once they got to school, they had some teachers that worked with them. That's how they did that. These 2 kids were our students. They were recognized. And both of them are higher than a 4.0. Never heard of a 4.0. I don't know how we even get that. You know, if I was in school with these kids, I'd probably get a 2.1. But these kids had above a 4.0. That's not something that you just like shake a tree and it just fall off. Something is happening here.
Mr. Johnson, I apologize. They were in my original report tonight. When Diane and I went over it, I pulled it because I had so many wonderful things to share that I couldn't include everything, and there were other things that I left out too, because students are doing so many wonderful things. It's easy to get them together, and so I want you to know it was in there originally.
Well, great. So we think alike. I just want to make sure the public understands what's going on here. And then my next one, and I'm glad Dr. Ketzier just spoke. I'm going to read something to you because if I read it, it'll go by pretty fast. Girls at a recent girls basketball, at a recent girls basketball game, I was sitting with Jesus at the game, and there was another fella at the game as well. And he kept looking across the way where the visitors sit, and he was looking for someone. The person who he was looking for was, number one, the principal, because this was a playoff game. And he was certainly looking for the superintendent. He didn't see either one of them. So what I'm about to tell you is not something that is normal. So what this young man did was he got on his phone and he called one of his buddies, which is his colleague, the superintendent. Where are you? Oh, I had something to do. Well, where's your principal? Oh, I think he was busy doing something else as well. So what am I getting at? You had a board member, a superintendent, or you had 2 board members and a superintendent at this girl's games. But those guys across the way did not have either one that was represented, and they gave him an excuse. Here's the second thing. His goal of putting Chromebooks into the hands of all 3rd through 12th grade students has been a huge success. We regularly see students using them at events, during lunch periods and after school. Chromebooks are facilitating the use of learning tools that will help our students succeed in school. You don't just take those things for granted. He has been active in engaging with the community at 3 community LCAP meetings over the past month. He is a great ambassador for our district to the community. He is being open and transparent about the spending of our LCAP dollars and demonstrate that LCAP supports all of our students' learning, all of our students' learnings. And me as an African American, I will tell you, one of the reasons why I wanted to be on the board, and you heard it tonight as well, the African American students at this district and a lot of districts are always on the bottom. He's changing that, he and Dr. White. Over the past few months, Dr. Ketsiora has shown outstanding leadership in the wake of tragedies at schools around the country. He has proactively communicated to parents and our staff members when there are concerns about safety at a school. He also did not brush students aside when they approached him with their own feelings on school safety. He took time to meet with them and directed principals to do the same. His leadership allowed our district to have a safe, on-campus civic engagement opportunity for any student who wanted to participate. By working with our students, he kept them on campus and under the safe supervision of school staff, while still allowing them to show support for the cause they connected with. Now, this is something unusual. I don't normally do this, but I am not going to sit here and talk about the great things that we're doing unless we talk about, you know, who spearheaded those things. They don't just happen just because. I open up by telling you that the superintendent nor the principal accompanied their girls' basketball team to Moreno Valley. They were busy doing something else. He goes out of town and he stays in town. So I thought that I would take the time to acknowledge what he has done and what he's contributing to make our district even better than it was before. And in closing, my quote, normally I'll give you the name of the person later, but this is from Jaime Escalante Gutierrez. He said, I tell my students, you do not have to enter the future, you create the future. The future is created through hard work. And I think that's apropos to what's happening here in Moreno Valley. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for those 2 minutes of comments.
You forgot to tell me that at the beginning.
Oh, sorry. You know, every week I send the superintendent a list of items or list of activities I am planning on attending during that week, and I always keep those copies. I have copies for the last 3 years or 4 years. I don't remember, because I've done this every Sunday night, Monday morning. I send that to the superintendent, and it really helps me to stay on track on my calendar, and to plan for the week. But also it helps me remember what happened in the past. Since the last board meeting, that was 4 weeks ago, I went back to my lists and I highlighted some of the items that I was going to mention. Unfortunately, Mr. Johnson already mentioned all of them because we were together at all these events. So he left me almost nothing to say. But you know, I have to mention a couple because they were very important. Right after the last meeting, we had the ribbon cutting ceremony at Moreno Valley High School. That was very significant for the work that has been done in this district by many, many people. That the construction of that building that took the place of 30 portable classrooms, I think that's very significant, especially at that particular school. Not to mention Edgemont Elementary School, where the job fair took place, and how those students have benefited tremendously from the functionality of that school, and more to come because the fields are still being worked on. But also other facilities that have been built, like the Armada building several months back or a couple of years ago, and then several other work that has been taking place. I was very excited tonight to hear that the stadium at Canyon Springs High School is coming together and is now looking green. So I'm dying to drive by right, after this meeting and see. Well, I'm not going to see anything tonight, but maybe tomorrow morning I can drive by it and see it. But that was 2 minutes of signatures too. So so that was very exciting. And other things that are coming up, the Performing Arts Center at Moreno Valley High School. That's something that I believe the students deserve to have that center, and the community and the entire city. And I think that is going to be a great addition to the facilities in the school district that is going to last for a long time, and it is going to bring a lot of opportunities for students for, continuing developing their artistic skills and talents, and so that we all can enjoy what they are going to do in that center. A lot of activities that, again, we went together, and, students participating in different competitions and events, like the speech competitions, and then the ceremony, schools to watch ceremony in Mountain View Middle School. That was remarkable, to adding that one school to the list, and listening from the county superintendent about the accomplishments of the district, and the band festival that took place at Vista del Lago High School, and many other events. One of the things that I like to mention is Mr. Morgan mentioned about the students that were coming together, or they want to raise their voice, and they want to talk about safety and gun violence and all those things. I'm very thankful that Dr. Kitsiora as always took the initiative to meet with the students, because the students wanted to plan something, to talk about student safety and gun violence and all those things. And Dr. Kitsiora met with the students, and then when they asked for a second meeting, I believe they also asked for the presence of one of the school board members, and I was available that day, so I went and talked to the students too, or I should say I listened to the students, because I don't remember saying anything. If I had been Mr. Johnson, it would have been more different, but I just sat and listened to the students, to their voices, and it was really interesting to hear what they wanted to say, and the plans that they were putting together. At the end of the meeting, I took the liberty to ask the students to give me a copy of their plan or whatever they had in mind, because I was about to go on a legislative day to Washington, D.C., and I thought, if you can give me something in writing, I can probably bring it with me to the people in Washington, D.C., to the congressmen, to the representatives. So they did. Within the next 48 hours, I got an email from the students, and so did Dr. Kitsiora, where they drafted a plan. So I took that plan, and in my visit to the legislators in Washington, I gave a copy of that plan to the offices that I was able to visit. And so that was a way for the students to bring up their voices to that level. And I was honored to be able to do that. And that's not the end of it, because we're looking forward to having an opportunity to meet with Mr. Tecano. We're still trying to see if we can invite him to the school or go to his office, or somehow make the connection between Congressman Tecano and the students, so that they can complete the circle of them writing the plan, sending it to their offices, and then talking to him and see what happens after that. But I think that's part of the civil engagement that we're talking about, and also for the students to see that their voice is important. Their voice can be heard and should be heard, and I think is important, that exercise. So I was able to do that, and I'm glad that I did. But again, we're not done with that process yet. It's going to continue, and we're going to close it soon. Then there was the visit to Capitol Day. We also had, we talked about the job fair. I forget, it was the same day as the job fair. I went with Dr. Kitsiora to visit the Professional Development Center, and in fact, this was in the middle of the spring recess. those 2 weeks that we had no classes. And Dr. Quetzera says, let's go to the Professional Development Center. Something is happening there. So we went and we visited, what was it, 6 classrooms, 5 classrooms, 6 classrooms, where there were, the classrooms were full with teachers going to training in the middle of the spring recess. So people may be thinking the teachers were, in Hawaii, Miami, yada, yada. No, they were there. They were there being trained. They were going through professional development activities, and that was something to be proud of, the people that work here in the district, because you can see the dedication, their commitment, and their desire to continue improving their skills so that they can, when the students come back to classes, they could provide that service that the students deserve. So I was happy to do that. And then we're going to talk about the students at the Cesar Chavez breakfast at the college. And we also had students participating in the Odyssey of the Mind performance at UCR. That was something that was the first time for me to see it, but that was one of our teams participating there from Vista del Lago High School. It was great to see them. Dr. Quetzera mentioned the 2 students at the National Football Foundation Scholar Awards. And we also attended a couple of conferences lately, the California Association Bilingual Education Conference, where we had some representation in one of the sessions there. And also at the CASBO conference, the School Business Officials Conference just last week, where we also had representation in a couple of sessions. But, there's a lot of activity within the district and also a lot of representation outside the district, where several of our employees or district employees go out there and share their knowledge, their talent, their skills, and it's a great thing for the district, so that we continue promoting and showing what this district is doing in many different areas. And I remember since I joined the California School Boards Association several years back, I saw that as a great opportunity for me to take some of the image of the district to other districts in other parts of the state, and to share and to tell people this is what is happening in Moreno Valley Unified School District. And from that point forward and up until now, I feel proud to say all the great things that are happening in Moreno Valley. And the last thing that I would like to do, the least thing that I would like to do, is to embarrass this district or this community, because I did not get into this position to embarrass anybody, much less the work that is happening at this table and with all the people that work here. I have a lot of respect for everyone that works here, and I take this position very seriously at every single moment, every single minute. And I'm very mindful of my actions at all times. So everything I do is with great pride, and it's with the intention of bringing the image and the name of this district at a much higher level, whether it is within Moreno Valley, whether it is in the Riverside County, the state of California, or even the entire nation. Because I also had opportunities to participate in many panels and presentations in many other states. And I always mention with pride that I'm coming from Moreno Valley and I'm coming from this district. So, and as long as I'm allowed to, I will continue doing so. And that's why it is important for me, as it is for all of us, whenever we can, to attend those events at the local level, so that we can learn, so that we learn exactly what is happening, how it's being done, who is doing it, how the students are performing, so that when we go out, we can easily say, this is what is happening in Moreno Valley. We know exactly what is happening because we are seeing it. We are witnessing the great things that are happening. So I'm glad that we have those opportunities, and we continue doing that. Since again Mr. Johnson took all my items, the last thing that I want to say is I want to say thank you to all those people that came to the microphone tonight in my support. I truly appreciate that, as well as all those people that in the last few days sent me messages and telephone calls, and not only me, but also my family. And I want to thank my family for sitting here this evening in the back row over there, listening. And I know it was difficult for them to listen to some of the comments, but I just want to say thank you to them. They're probably watching right now, and I want to say thank you. I'm so proud of my family. I'm so proud of my daughters and my wife, and the tremendous support that they have given me, not only this time but over the years, all the time since I decided to join to run for the school board and to commit to serve in this community all the time that is available for us. And not only me, but they also do. They also serve in their own way, but they also serve. We're a service family, and I think we will continue doing that, regardless of the positions. But we are service. We come from families that were used to service, to provide services all the time, and that's who we are. So I'm honored with having this opportunity, and again, I take it very seriously, and I will continue to do so as long as I'm allowed to do it. So again, thank you to those who were here. Thank you, Mr. Fogarty, Mrs. Fogarty. You're still here, and that's why I mentioned you. But all the other people that came and spoke at the microphone, thank you for your comments. Everything is learning. Every day there's a learning experience, and that never ends. So, thanks for all that support. And here we are continuing supporting the superintendent, because the superintendent and cabinet are an amazing team, as well as all those 3,000 employees that work for the district. And all together, along with this amazing board, we'll continue to improving this district for the benefit of the 33,000 plus students that we serve, because every one of those students deserves the best, and deserves the best from us. And that's why we're here, because we're willing and we are committed to do the best we can. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Holguin. I only have a couple of things I'd like to mention tonight. Number one, I am looking forward to the day when we get rid of these big notebooks and go to totally agenda online. And I think that day is coming in the near future. So I would encourage my fellow board members to be ready for that day, because I'm too old to carry all this weight around anymore. So last night I went to downtown Riverside, where they had an award for top scholars in Riverside County. This wasn't the comprehensive high school top scholars. Moreno Valley High School, Canyon Springs High School, Vista del Lago, Valley View, they were not there. The high schools that were there last night were alternative high schools. They were March Mountain High School, Bayside Community Day School, and other similar schools throughout the county. And I'm glad that we are taking the opportunity to recognize the scholars at these schools as well as at our other high schools. I talked to a couple of people about this today, and they said, oh, that's great that they're having awards for all of the students now in Riverside County, and not just for, my doctor's son, who got the top scholar award at his district last year and is now in pre-med at Yale. But for all of the students, no matter what school they're at and what they're planning to do. So that was a great experience to be there and to see those kids not only honored, but also giving speeches about their experiences. And a lot of those students have had difficult life experiences that have brought them to the point where they are today, and I was glad to see that they received those awards. Also, I'm glad that we have so many. I
think Miranda was with you last night, right?
Yes, Mrs. Maddox was there. You were there, yes. But you didn't mention this. I have to dig deep to get to things that I can mention that you didn't already mention. Yes, we were all there. I'm sorry, Mr. Holguin, you didn't make it. This is why I put it on my list, because I knew he couldn't talk about it.
He wasn't there. He still was there, though.
Yes, I said, where's Jesus? He said, oh, he's out of town or something. So yes, a great experience. I also went to the grand opening of Moreno Valley High School. That's my local high school, and I am so happy that we're doing so many improvements at Moreno Valley High School, from the new building, which we've had the grand opening for, to the Performing Arts Center and other things that will still be coming, improvements that are still coming to Moreno Valley High School, the oldest school in our district. I also went the same day to the grand opening of the Creekside Wellness Center, and I would like to just say how happy I was to meet Mrs. Edwards. I didn't realize how much she does for our students and for our district, and she has really been the motivating force behind this wellness center and getting supplies. She has backpacks, she has clothes, she has a dentist coming to do teeth evaluations on the kids and get them the help they need to be healthy, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally, and giving them the support that they need, whatever they need. And she is just a great and valuable resource for our district. I think we have an award ceremony coming up that you mentioned, and that I'll be going to put on by Molina Health Center in Healthcare in San Bernardino. And she will be receiving an award there, and I am looking forward to that. I went to Stater Brothers the other night, and in my grocery bag, I bring my own bags, but as I got home and unpacked my groceries, I noticed there was a thing in there, and I was going to bring it for you, and somehow I forgot. But it was a thing there requesting people to fill out to be a community partner with Riverside County Schools. I don't know. Yes, Riverside County Schools, not Riverside Unified. But Dr. White apparently has extended her reach.
Well, actually, Ms. Smith, Dr. White did that when she was here, and we do that when the parent ambassadors do that. So I just want you to know it happened here first.
She's extending her reach into Moreno Valley again. Yeah. So, yes, I knew she was the one that started the community partners here, and I was happy to see that Waste Management was here. They gave a donation of $1,000 to Edgemont School, which is just great. We are no longer in the Edgemont School attendance area, but that was a couple of my kids went to Edgemont School when we were within their attendance boundaries. So I'm always glad to see them making progress as well. We talked about a couple of student athlete scholars, and we had a music presentation. Athletics, music, art. These are the things that draw our students in and keep them engaged in school. A lot of times students that drop out are students that don't have any engagement with school other than to just go there and do some work and whatever. So the more programs we can have, like music, art, athletes, these are the students that are going to be engaged and keep coming back for more. So I appreciate that we were able to honor some of them tonight. So thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kedziora.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And I'm going to be real brief, so everybody don't panic. But I just want to thank the board and the cabinet for the work we did tonight and all that we do all the time, and your support, and how grateful I am to work here. And I want you to know, Mr. Burleson out there, is that how you say your name? So you did stay the whole night, and when we were upstairs, I'm not supposed to tell what happens in closed session, but I'm going to paraphrase or I'm going to make it up. But people were hypothesizing about whether you'd stay all night if we announced you early. They wanted to see what you were like. Well, I guess they found out, So he didn't get...
C.J. Johnson, he has no faith.
So I want to welcome you to our district. The new hire is still here. Did he pass the test? But I want to welcome you to our district and let you know what a wonderful place you've chosen to come to work, and you couldn't have made a better decision. I hate it for Mr. Fogarty and Miss Fogarty who work in other districts and know they would like to be here because they do live here and their kids go here. And I'm thankful that your children go here because they are the most wonderful children. And I appreciate what you said tonight because you help us in our district, and parents like you and community members like you are what makes other children do even better because of how wonderful your children are and what you do as a family. So I want to thank you for being here and staying all night too. I'm like, oh my God, like y'all didn't have, I mean, I know y'all go to bed early because I've tried to come over.
No, the house was dark. Nobody answered the door. He was knocking.
Well, I wanted to see if the music bothered them from the band at Valley View, and they said, we're already in bed at like whatever time it was, and I thought, well, then forget it, you know. I want to tell you that a lot of you are new here. You know, Tanisha Grant, is it Grantham? Grantham? Granson? Grattan, okay. I'm from the South. It takes me a minute. And Sandra Ayala and Jessica Garcia. You know, Mr. Burleson, you will meet these people here and work with them, but they're brand new. They came from other places too. And Miss Escobar is out there, and Mr. Scott and Mr. Weddle, and they work here. You know, these people I'm pointing at. And look how long they sit here and do this. Isn't that something? I mean, that's really something. I mean, it's amazing.
Isn't Mr. Scott and Mr. Weddle required to stay till the end?
I guess, but anyway, I just think that's really impressive. But I do want to say something. Mr. Weddle was with me at the science fair, and you know, Mrs. Smith was there, and Mr. Holguin and Mr. Johnson, and Dr. White introduced us, but we were the only. And this was for the whole county, and she wanted to know if there were any other board members, any other superintendents there, and we were the only people there. Now, some people might look at us and say, why did they go there? And he said this to me, he said, why is it always that Moreno Valley board members and the superintendent are the only ones there? And I said to him, and I said this to Chris Weddle, it's because about 8 years ago when Dr. White came here, these things didn't exist. Most kids didn't participate in the science fair, and most students didn't participate in History Day and Odyssey of the Mind. Those things didn't exist 8 years ago. And the graduation rate was 65%, and today it's 90%. So the reason we're there is because we cannot stop, like Mr. Johnson says, working on this. We have to model what we expect, and it hasn't always happened here, so we're building that culture. And so you're part of that culture. You're helping us create that. And when you were hired, there was a reason you were hired, because of your spirit and what you bring. But we need that now more than ever. But Mr. Weddle, thank you for noticing that we were the only people there and why that happens. I want to thank Darrell Scott and Christopher Weddle, because they were very dedicated this week, and they always are, about what happens in our district. And there's a lot of different things that happen with safety and security. And they're part of our LCAP, our Local Control Accountability Plan. Their positions didn't exist before. And what they offer and contribute in communication, safety, and support is very important to the community and to our district. And this week we had a threat, another threat. And they were right on it, and we had a parent link go out, and Mr. Scott, I'm getting there. Mr. Scott was calling other districts, seeing what they were doing, and communicating. We didn't have that before here. And I just want people to know how much I appreciate it and how much the district appreciates what you do. But again, I want to thank you, Mr. Burleson, for choosing our district, and we chose you, I guess. But thank you for accepting, and you couldn't ask for a better place to work and join in on. There's so many great things happening here, and I can't wait for you to bring a van over here to me, or a bus or something. And Mr. I'm going to get his name. Mr. Fogarty knows the treatment that we need, so I think he'll help you. So thank you very much, everyone. And I want you to know Dr. Verdi next Tuesday is hosting the Oscars for Moreno Valley Unified. People are going to be dressed in tuxes, and Tina and Maribel are getting their hair done next week. And I am too. And Dr. Verdi. But I hope all of you come, because we're recognizing the best of the best. And I know you'll all be there too. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing everyone at that event to recognize our wonderful employees of our district. Thank you.
I have a postscript. You mentioned everybody, but you didn't mention that I was there with you.
Me?
I have no.
Her?
Ms. Smith.
Okay.
And what?
At the ribbon cutting for Moreno Valley and then the wellness center.
Yes, you were at
You didn't
both.
mention him.
I know that. You didn't mention it. You mentioned him. Evan and I are over here just feeling bad.
Well, I appreciate your coming to the ribbon cutting as well. And I noticed you also stayed for the ribbon cutting at the Wellness Center.
Thank you very much.
To both ribbon
I'm
cuttings.
now happy.
Okay, that's my goal, make everybody happy. Thank you. And I'm just going to call that 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, our meeting is dismissed.
Yay.